You know, if you see the Ricky combo be very dangerous so far in the tournament.
I would be pretty surprised if either of the teams were to pick up Darkseer. I don't think he works super well here. You could technically pick it together with the Ricky against the Drow, but I don't think it's great. I would rather have something that can like really jump and initiate on the Drow. Something like a Primal Beast.
Primal Beast for what, Toby, right? Is that what we're looking at?
Could work. I don't think he's
mean,
played a lot of it though. That's a shame.
Yeah, but there's a Rubik Cliff, there's an Overgrowth, and plus there's a Gust if you see it coming. I would rather put it with the Darkseer on it. I like the Darkseer. Darkseer Ricky just feels very strong, and I think that would work well for Entity if they want to go for it. For Ooredoo Thunders, I can imagine that. I mean, we have the TA2000 pick. Now it's going to be for Whiter, and he's going to go Tiny. Core Tiny has popped up a little bit, has looked okay. Some people just go for, say, Blink Dagger into Aghanim Scepter, and it's worked, and to a certain extent, but I don't know. I always feel like you need something a little bit more. You do have the Overgrowth, though. That is going to be great setup for the Tiny, and that looks like it's going to be Noob's hero. I don't think Tiny offlane is a thing.
It's pretty nice against Prophet. Just works good in general. I would still love to see Batrider. Yeah, there we go. I was expecting them to pick it as a third pick, but they went for the Prophet first. And it makes sense, because I think while Batrider is more important to them, Prophet is more contested.
And it's just a really good hero overall for Batrider. You can fantasy down the tree, jump on the Drow Ranger. I think I'm having as well. It seems like I'm cutting it here and there. Production tell him more time. And for Entity, we're looking for here the niche spot is flexible, but, so we can see our character.
We see that Ursa ban coming out, so they also expect it to be flexed. While I'm like, there is no way that Toby plays Prophet. I would expect them to pick some stun hero for Toby, or maybe just a pressure hero, but not the Prophet. That would be crazy. An Entity, they ban out the Tide Hunter. Tide would be so good in this game. He doesn't care about this support duo from Entity at all. He's gonna break the lasso, he's gonna break all the sticky stacks. Would have been an insanely good pick.
Okay, so Production's telling me it's not on my end. This is the VMix. So we're not gonna send the mouthful to the to my ISP yet. I like the Tide Hunter as well as a pick for Ooredoo Thunders, but I'm not seeing it as. It's a great body to put in the front. Monkey King comes out. That's another hero who can just cut the distance. So no Slark, no Ursa, no Monkey King as those mobile cores. I wouldn't mind a Chaos Knight for Entity if that is going to be something that Watson wants to play, right? You do have that gap close, works pretty well with the Mirana.
I would mind the Chaos Knight.
You would mind or you wouldn't mind?
I would, because it's against the Tiny. From the moment he gets Aghanims, the clones are gonna get wrecked instantly, and there is Overgrowth. Even the Drow Ranger isn't like super bad against CK. With the shard, if you kill one of the illusions, they all just die.
Alright, what about Marcy? Alright, what about if we see Marcy coming out from it? Miro was talking about it. He says they do go for this carry Marcy sometimes. It wouldn't be so bad to get people out of the range of the tree volley.
Yeah.
Can gap close pretty well against the Drow Ranger.
I wouldn't hate it.
I'm seeing some merit. I'm seeing some merit here. What about? We're waiting for Whiter's hero.
See, that's another name where I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
I don't know that one. Yeah.
I've had people say it as Weeder as well, and I'm like,
yes.
I don't even know. I had the same with Zibby back in the day. I actually DM'd him on Twitter just to ask.
Yeah, I see the name and I'm also like, waiter, and just whatever it is, we get it wrong.
Yep.
And that was an interesting voice line. All right, so Entity, what we're feeling the Marcy? Is that what we're feeling with? I'm kind of okay with the Marcy myself.
I would still like to see an offlaner from Toby, because I feel like the Prophet is absolutely fine against Darkseer, but they go for a Sven. And it is gonna be carry Sven. It is quite good against Drow Ranger. It survives against Tiny. It lanes okay against Darkseer. Fair enough.
Very out of the meta though, right? I mean, I do like the Warcry giving you bonus armor, not base armor, which means it really helps all your team against the Drow Ranger, as well as the Tiny's Tree Volley, right? Like it's all just physical damage that the Sven counters. So I like the Sven pick. My problem is I don't really know its power level. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like we haven't seen it being like it performed to this level, to that level. Not quite sure. Not a big fan of the Rubik combo. I don't know if you're going to put the Darkseer with the Treant Protector. Would be a possibility. Actually, I failed on Omar pick. Don't go for the Rubik. Just feels like position 5, Rubik position 4 Treant seems miss.
Yeah, I guess so, but I would definitely want to lane the Treant with the Darkseer. Just a melee hero to get on top of people.
Yes.
But yeah, they can swap around the players, but I think that's the best lane setup.
I think that too. I mean, like you said, it just keep their roles, just swap them around the lanes themselves, and that'll be fine. You know, Omar's still playing for, and we've said before, right? 2 range heroes versus a melee, like any melee lineup is just very difficult for them to deal with. So I like it. And Darkseer, you know, Darkseer Treant is tanky, moves fast, has slows, has damage. I'm okay with it. And plus, I mean, you're up against a Sven who can take a hit, but it still adds up over time.
Yeah, so with all of that being said, who do you favor going into game number 1?
I'm gonna go with the Ooredoo Thunders. I like the team. You know, I gotta sometimes go with your heart. I think that they have the draft that can make it work. I'm not Soul Ranger versus Sven. I don't think that that's really looking for the Drow, but why not? You know, sometimes go with the team that you just feel a better connection to, and they've been on the up and up. The odds not favor them. You know, if you guys want to put some money on those odds, click on the banner down below and get those free bets if you're registering for the first time. From your shin, you disagree with me though of the team strength.
I'm seeing Storm a bat. I'm going with Storm a bat. It's not even close.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Just remember. See, this is you know, you are also clouded by your own emotions. You played with Stormer, and that's why you're on his side.
Oh,
see?
just you wait. Just you wait, Otomo. You'll be convinced after this game as well.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm convinced already, right? Like, I've seen Bat Riders go, like, you know, 8-0 into 15-1, just crush the game. I wouldn't be surprised if we can do the same thing onto the Tiny. But, like I said, I'm going to go with your just bias. You know, you're an Entity fan. And that's fine because I'm an Ooredoo Thunder fan. So it balances out. Right? It balances out?
I guess so. But there is only one person who's gonna be right after this game. We'll see who that is. Even bounty trade. Nothing too special happening in the other game. And we have some pretty big shoes to fill after the last series. I'm curious if Ooredoo Thunderers and Entity can bring the same level of excitement.
I mean, you know, who cares, right? I mean, these guys, it doesn't matter how they compare to Team Spirit and Alliance. They're playing for themselves, and you know, I'm like, you know, it's always has been. They are to make it sure, guys. These are the last qualified team, or under qualified teams. We have 4 invited teams and Ooredoo Thunder. So if you're rooting for the underdog, it is Thunders by far. But if you are a fanboy like we go for Entity, I don't think there's wrong with that.
I'm still sensing some judgment, but that's okay. You see a Stormhammer coming out onto Omar, but he's gonna be completely fine. And Fishman, he has the level 1 Starfall as well, but he's getting very, very slowly chased down. He's gonna be fine. No worries at all. Not even close.
Wider went for the punch, which kept him a bit of distance, gave that a bit of distance for Fishman. But they knew it was going to run out. He wasn't going to get the kill, and the punch was his only chance. Still, very good harass. Gets the Miran off the lane.
wonder if they're gonna have a good amount of kill potential in the bottom lane. Because they do have Sven hammer into the arrow, which is really nice. But at the same time, Darkseer and Rubik are pretty tricky to take down in their own right.
Yeah, plus if you go for the Rubik, you know, you can get the Surge, he runs away. You go for Darkseer. Lift is a great way of just ensuring that a lot of that aggression doesn't come out. So far, Toby, they're zoning him a little bit from the lane. And this is one of the strengths of the Treant, right? Just insane stats early on, plus a lead sheet on top. And just forcing Toby to take a lot. I mean, they both take a lot of damage, but you're still happy to do that. Oh, first blood comes out, and it is in favor of Entity.
Yeah, I guess there we had it. Stormhammer into arrow. That's all that it took.
Very powerful. Very powerful. Like a lot of stuns coming out there. And unless, you know, Waiter is feeling very defensive, or sorry, protective of his friend, he's not going to take the arrow. He's just going to like, sorry, Omar, your fault for getting caught.
Yep.
And
I mean, funnily enough, Darkseer is actually kind of slow at this stage of the game. Because he has really shit base movement speed. It's not like you want to surge to tank an arrow. It's a bit awkward.
Surge level 1 in general is just, it takes a couple levels before you can... But, you know, he's doing a good job against your Storm. Right?
Yeah,
against your friend.
It's the first few levels can be a bit rough. Because it's a Tiny who deals 100 damage with his trees.
Even levels of sticky napalm don't give you as much. It feels like you get more out of the stick charges than you get out. That makes sense. Like once it's a little higher, you're like, oh, okay, that's like really worth spamming. But you're forced to spam it to help you get last hits.
Yeah, exactly. Kiori is still level 1. Katomi going for a nice little creep pull. Just being nice and annoying.
No one really like seems to be a very even laning stage so far. Even though they got 1 kill, but none of the cores have been suffering, or Ooredoo Thunders, and that 1 kill balances out to being not as relevant if neither team can really up the aggression. You know, you get a kill, it's like okay, and that's it. Then you just move back to the lane.
Ooh, the Tiny took a good amount of damage there. He's not gonna be in any real trouble because Stormstormer is completely out of mana. This is the thing about playing against Batrider too. You're kind of forced to buy boots first, so you can't rush the bottle. Noob is a bit low right now.
He needs to be careful also. I mean, we can see your Stormstormer, he's still a bit away from the level 6, but... And I bet those, you know, Noob knows this. At the same time, it's the melee hero versus Batrider syndrome.
Ooh, and Katomi is
there's
gonna
a
go down. It's a nice kill in favor of TA2K. He definitely needs
also,
that.
He wasted the teleport as well, right? Like that's gonna be a long time that he's off the map doing nothing.
That's what I get for saying that Kataomi Ricky is so good in lane. This is a curious gank, if we can even call it a gank.
It's like how Omar shows up later. Sorry guys, I'm here too. Oh. Gag key a Batrider with a Triad? Sure, let's go for it. And but no, that's a gag.
Stormstormer doesn't really want to commit for this, and for good reason. And Ooredoo Thunders, they sent 3 heroes mid to try and secure the rune, and Fishman still got it. They could be going for Fishman here, and with the Treetles, it is gonna be enough damage, so Fishman falls.
That's as many times as you play with Tiny, you always end up thinking, oh, his burst damage isn't that high. Then you're like, oh crap, yes, it is very high. And speaking of things that are high, you can get you can add $15 to your wallet if you click on the link down below, and you bet for the first time if you're registering for the first time. That was not the best segue, I gotta say. Beautiful arrow from Fishman.
Yeah, nice snipe there, and TA2K is completely out of mana as well, so he's gonna take a solid amount of damage here. Of course, he's very happy that his Treant just died, because he can just bring back some more regen. Storm is still keeping a point. He is one of the players who tends to not skill Lesso at level 6 if he doesn't have to. He's keeping the point in reserve, just in case.
Opportunity, otherwise, no reason, right? So far, it's going well for Watson. He is ahead of the Draw Ranger, and as we said, I think the corner from heaven in this situation.
Yeah, I think so too. I still have my doubts about what the Darkseer is going to be able to achieve this game. We see a nice Toss Avalanche combo onto Stormstormer, but they haven't taken him down just yet. Lesso comes out. It's a lot of damage, but it's not quite enough. Stormstormer still going for the right clicks. He's solo. Noob is also solo. Toby comes in, gets the kill onto Noob. That was so incredibly close, and Omar out of trouble just yet, but he does have sticks, so he's gonna be fine. Arrow not gonna hit, but somehow they do manage to kill the Treant at least. 2 kills going in favor of Entity. And now the tier 1 tower on mid lane could be in a bit of trouble as well with this Furion rotation.
And it's kind of awesome, right? Because later on we're gonna see the Ricky be very active with the shard. So Orient Thunders, they kind of get a pretty solid laning phase going for them, or because they're gonna be sticking together. That's just how you play against the Ricky. Getting sentries all over the map is kind of impractical, and it's a tough situation to be in.
And Watson, he picks up his Mask of Madness now. So he's gonna speed up quite a bit in terms of farming. And Noob. He's level 7, so he has a solid amount of damage, but he's still quite far away from his blink. Curie getting a block on the Ancients, it looks like. Can they kill Toby here? Have a rotation coming in from Noob. They're unwilling to commit right now. The positioning was just too awkward.
Overall, the lane phase, I think Entity can walk away pretty happy with it. You know, it's a slight advantage, but Watson's farming up a Storm here. And he has a Storm on his side. He's got the Nature's Prophet as well, the ganking potential. They're going to go for the next. I guess I think about is that do they really want these mid-game team fights on Ooredoo Thunders? Maybe goes for Blink Dagger, can jump in and kill, but they're just decent, okay?
I think they have to go for the team fights though, because if you take this late, I don't think they have a chance.
Good point.
Maybe they can like try to make something happen once they have the mech and the blink and then snowball from there, while TA2K just farms. Right. Otomo is gonna go for a reconnection to try and fix his audio. So I'm gonna be taking over for now. They wanna go into Kaori here. Stormstormer with his Firefly can fly through the trees just as well as Kaori can. It's gonna go down. It's a nice kill going the way of Entity. Moonlight Shadow popped as well. Do they wanna do something on the bottom lane? It looks like it. They are gonna go for the play onto this Darkseer, and before the Avalanche comes out, they get the kill onto Weeder. Decent amount of damage coming out onto both Fishman and Watson, but they can't really turn it into anything, and Watson is just gonna kill the creep wave and get out. So another nice kill going the way of Entity, but the gold lead isn't really there just yet. They're gonna get a tier 1 tower at least. Entity making some good moves. Watson almost has his Echo Saber done as well, and he's starting to accelerate quite a bit. TA2K is doing a good job of keeping up, but it's hard to keep up with Sven. Just farms so fast, so early. Fishman gonna try to defend this bottom lane. He has to be so careful. Tiny doesn't have his blink yet, but still. The pressure coming out onto this bottom tier 1, but that is one of the downsides of Darkseer. You deal a good amount of damage to creep waves, but your tower damage is negligible. Kataomi, level 6 now. No shard though, so he isn't fully online just yet. I have to say I'm quite curious about the build that Toby is going for as well. And it is gonna be more of a carry build. I was expecting him to just rush Aghanims, and Kaori could be in trouble once again with the Fury on ulti and the double damage onto Stormstormer. He just gets blown up. I was expecting him to go Aghanims, but he's gonna go for the Gleipnir. It is very good this game. Against Tiny, against Darkseer. So I can't really blame him. I think it's very good. Still, OT just hanging around this bottom lane, but a solo Mirana is able to defend that tower. While at the same time, Entity is getting through these towers just fine, even with the Treant living armor healing them back up. Stormstormer has his BOTs now. First part of his BKB done as well, so we could expect his farm to accelerate a bit as well. Kataomi going for a Courier snipe. This is like some old school bounty hunter plays. He gets the Courier. I mean, as a Riki, at 13 minutes into the game, there is not that much else you can actually do. So you don't have the shard yet, you don't have a lot of damage. So you might as well snipe some Couriers. And Noob has his Blink Dagger now, so this is go time for Ooredoo Thunders, I think. Before the Bat has BKB, before the Sven has BKB, this could be a big moment with Stormstormer and Watson together. Looks like they want to kill this Darkseer once again. Can they find him though? No, Weeder smells something is up. Goes for the Surge and gets out.
Hello?
Hello, welcome back, Otomo.
Hello.
Let's hope the audio is better. TA2K, he has his Dragonlance finished. Gonna be going for a Hurricane Pike next. Getting Surge. Wanna go onto Fishman here. The amount of damage. Oh, some crazy leaps. And his Fishman. Oh, I thought he was gonna make it out for a moment. But he's not quite gonna make it. Some crazy leaps there. And are Ooredoo Thunders finally gonna get this tier 1 tower bottom at 15 minutes into the game? It looks like it. It's just painfully slow.
Yeah. You have to get the shard. I think the shard is the one that gives you the spell, or is the talent? Oh yeah, it's a talent now. The shard gives you that passive armor, but
yeah,
also pretty good just to remove the Surge as well as the Ion Shell. I don't think you get the Sven while he's super manning towards you.
Nope.
Option could be a good option for them.
Yeah, I think so too. There we have the Moonlight Shadow coming out, and it's gonna be Omar going down first of all. Riki doesn't actually have a shard yet. I was gonna say it's 15 minutes yet. Oh, no, he gets it. He gets it. So Entity, they're now fully ready to play. Ooh, and we have the arrow coming out. But nice. Two-man vacuum into the overgrowth, and Sven is completely stuck in place. And Kataomi goes down on the backline. Fishman does make it out. They're already taking a lot of damage with the Lasso coming out. He should be going down, but nice jump in by Noob, and Toby is gonna go down first. They do get the Treant, but it's Ooredoo Thunders who get the favorable trade.
Yeah, maybe they had the Sleeping Dart arrow set up. It still didn't work out for them, so a bit unlucky for Entity. That was not really. I mean, it's not like he was showcasing a big item like a Blink Dagger. Everyone knows Riki is going to have the shot 15 minutes, but not the best opening attempt with it.
They're gonna get the tier 1 mid as well. So nice turn of events for Ooredoo Thunders. Watson is still farming well on this Sven, but TA2K is not too far behind, actually closing the gap a little bit. And you don't see this too often, but Nature's Prophet on the bottom of the network chart in terms of cores.
No, in general, it's all kind of weird, right? You see the draw very close to the Sven when you feel like, Sven's just naturally the better. I mean, it's slightly ahead, but I think it'd be a little bit more. And Nature's Prophet not farming. Oh, that seems like he's just asleep just to annoy him.
Yeah, arrow wasn't quite in range, but they do still get it. And they get the D word as well. But Rubik stole the arrow, and that's a big one. That's a really big one. Fishman went for the Veil as well.
I've seen it. It's the Starstorm damage just so much away. I'm looking at his team, and Bat Rider also benefits. The Wrath of Nature, it hits. I think that spell hits really hard. You walk around, you think, oh, I'm gonna be safe. Wrath of Nature zaps you in the ass, and you lose your life.
Okay, 2K. Instantly scouts Kataomi. They're gonna get a freebie onto this Ricky. Entity doesn't really want to fight here. Especially right before the Bat Rider and Sven BKBs.
They still have decent things against the BKB. The overgrowth, and you can hopefully toss people away from the BKB target. Surge is also a decent one, so it's not like once Entity gets the BKB, what you're worried about is the lasso, but everything else, like, you can get away from this Sven.
With an Invis rune. Does he want to go onto Fishman? Looks like it. And with the Sentry and the Rubik damage, they're gonna have enough damage to take down Fishman before he can do anything nefarious. He goes for the sleep. Stormer is ready to fight. Overgrowth comes out. See the initiation of Watson, but this is his BKB reveal, and now there is no Overgrowth. But Watson, he doesn't want to fight here, and neither does Stormer. K2K uses his Hurricane Pike up to the high ground, and they actually kill Stormer before he can do anything here. And Watson running away from himself, but I don't think he's getting out of this one. On he goes. So that's the mid laner and the carry falling for Entity the moment they get their BKB.
I think that was with the overgrowth. BKB was able to waste a lot of time for them. Like, oh, you're going to start the fight. It's going to go well. Nice move by them. Like, look at that. That ult's coming out.
They didn't
can tell from the visuals. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't tell from the visuals because with the moonlight shot. I think they just sort of they just tried to get away. It was a great overgrowth last, so that was fantastic, and they are able to get very end.
A nice snipe by Omar as well with the arrow. But yeah, just a really awkward place for Entity to fight. Because they already lost their Mirana, so they couldn't have the nice sleep into arrow initiation. And they were just like so split in the middle of 5 Ooredoo Thunder's heroes. Toby wasn't there. Just really weird place to take a fight. Stormer and Watson desperately trying to get the farm that they need this game. I'm not sure if it's desperately just yet. Ooh, double smoke.
Yeah, it's slightly behind. It's not the biggest deal.
Wanna find something again? Let's see if they can find anyone here. They would love to find the Drow Ranger. It looks like all of OT is on the other side of the map.
And luckily for them, like OT, they are opening the map a little bit, so it makes it. I know in cases it makes it a bit harder to get sentries all over, but it also makes it a bit harder for the Ricky to find people and get the pickoffs. If he does, you still have the Nature's Prophet who can show up anywhere. He's got the Maelstrom, he's going to go for the Gleipnir, which works really well with the Ricky overall.
Toby, he is closing in on his Gleipnir, and that's gonna be quite nice. But Darkseer almost has a Lotus. Actually, he has his Lotus Orb and his Guardian Grief, so OT are really strong in fights right now. He went for a smoke. Let's see if they can find someone here. They don't have the best vision. Nope, his smoke isn't quite gonna break. And we have smoke against smoke, but who is gonna get the better jump here? They are so close to each other, but they have no idea. There we have the Moonlight Shadow coming out. OT is in a really good position for a fight here. Naomi, he's gonna get the snipe though, and it's gonna be the Rubik taking the brunt of the damage first. And Entity is on the chase right now. They find Noob as well. Not enough, and there is Tree. They're gonna find the Tree too. So that's 2 kills from the get-go. Only the cores remain for OT. Arrow's gonna get dodged. And that could have been a huge fight. But it wasn't.
What could be huge is if Entity gets to the Roshan, which is what they're going to go for. They were there even earlier, just teleports in. And you can't really challenge this without your supports. They don't have the Train Protector for 10 seconds as well.
Ooh, but Noob isn't in this room. He's gonna go in, but he doesn't have a BKB. I'm not sure about this decision here. He's gonna take a lot of damage, but with the Greaves and the Lotus Orb, he's gonna be fine. Now Drow Ranger is in trouble. Arrow is not quite gonna hit, but Watson definitely is. Down goes TA2K and asleep on the Rubik as well. I don't think he's getting out of this one anytime soon. 2 kills in favor of Entity. Sprout onto himself for Toby. I think Kaori is in trouble as well. We have an Arrow, actually a really long one, onto Noob. He's gonna go down as well, so they try to contest the Roche. It's gonna be a terrible fight. Kataomi doesn't have the sleeping dart. Entity definitely comes out on top. I think Roche is next on the menu.
It's a bit of a tough jump for Noob, right? He contests the entrance, but after that, just eyes back at that spot, and we didn't have the Train Protector for another 10 seconds. So Entity, can you really kill Watson twice? I mean, they probably have massive damage issues, but killing him twice does seem like a tall order.
I think if they can kill his team first, then it's gonna be no problem. Because Sven, as a hero, like, he isn't super slippery. If you have him stuck in a position and he's used his BKB, then he's just not gonna do anything. So that's gonna be the priority. Get on top of this Ricky, kill the Prophet, kill the Mirana, and then worry about the Sven, if he hasn't killed your entire team at that point.
So you're mentioning, you're like, oh, you just have to kill this guy, this guy, this guy, then it'll be fine. Like, that's a lot of killing you have to do before the guy, you know, while hoping he's merciful towards you.
Yeah, you definitely need some good positioning in fights.
The sports of Entity also starting to get that farm up, right? You know, you can see Kawi is really suffering on the Train Protector. He's got the shot, so with only 3,000 gold in the bank, there's no way he's going to have the Blink Dagger just yet. And you kind of need that level of control, right? Especially once the BKB, just to make sure that the Sven, when he has the BKB, does not go rampant. Does not, sorry, just rampage on your team.
And Toby is starting to get pretty farmed as well. So he is gonna go for the Aghanims, just not as a first item. I do think it's very good in this game. Kataomi looking for trouble.
That's a nice way of putting it. Like that's, how do you feel about Ricky? Do you think that he is all right now? We've seen a lot. Kind of complain about it. We saw him able to glimpse that, which is kind of crazy. How do you feel about it?
I think the hero is kind of weak, but the shard is insanely strong. So he needs some kind of rework if IceFrog likes this style of play. Because I don't think it's healthy game design to have a hero be bad until they pick up shard and then be insane. I don't think it's the right way to go about it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Maybe we'll get it as a normal skill and Blink Strike becomes a shard or Tricks of the Trade. That'll be an interesting move.
Yeah, just remove permanent invisibility, make that the shard.
Nah, I mean, that's been his identity the entire...
No, I'm
since
kidding.
his,
Please,
you know,
please don't.
They can't get rid of that.
I mean, I haven't seen Ricky for a long time.
Dire's top tower is under
That's slow hanging hook. I don't know
tower
go
is under attack.
and react or not, but okay. Alright. So Drow has a sphere. the problem is with Ricky, it's easy to process. I feel like the last word about this situation.
It is quite nice against the Sven jump, because Sven doesn't like to buy something that can proc the Lincolns, at least not as a first 4 items. And Aghanim's is up on noob as well, so that's a lot of damage if they can land it.
Tower is under attack.
OT, they're hanging around the bottom lane. Entity, hanging around the top lane.
Radiant's
Neither
bottom
team
tower is
really
under
achieving
attack.
too much.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures
Gonna deal some
are
okay
lost.
damage to the tower. But the top tower is gonna fall first.
Dire's top tower
Opens up the outpost for Entity if they want to take it. And that's scary for Ooredoo Thunders, because already going to your jungle is risky with Ricky. Now if Ricky catches you next to the outpost, very difficult. And don't have the enemy's outpost for your own just yet.
tower is under attack.
Scan coming out. Neither team standing next to the tower. An Entity, they went for some kind of smoke to try and connect, but Ooredoo Thunders, they're not gonna commit and they're gonna get out. Can they catch the Tiny though? I think he blinked away just in time. Or just walked away. Ooh.
Oh,
The sleep dart hits him though into the arrow.
no.
This is big.
Dude,
Yeah, no
Took a
escape.
wild
Even with the
damage.
blast furnace rig thingy.
Dire's bottom tower
Blast rig.
Blast rig, that's it.
Yeah, by the way, if you hadn't said it yourself, I would have been like blast furnace rig. No, it's just blast rig, I think.
Dire's bottom tower
It's definitely one of the better tier 3 items. I like it a lot when I'm playing anyone who's melee. It just 7 armor, 2.5 seconds of mischance feels pretty impactful.
Yeah, especially against the Sven, you're almost gonna force him to pop his BKB every time he jumps on you. Of course,
Yeah.
not this time because Tiny was stunned for 5 seconds. But it still took a good long while to take him down.
Yeah, for a second I was thinking, is he so tanky with the living that he's just not taking damage? And I was like, oh, I heard the small effect. I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Literally taking no damage.
Well, he was literally taking no damage, but not for the reasons we think they were, you know, not for the armor reasons.
Aghanim's now up on the
Late-
Prophet as well, and that's gonna be big in fights because there's not a lot of Dispel and BKBs on OT. Just the Darkseer, really.
Yeah, I'm not feeling this Ooredoo Thunder's draft as the game goes on. We're getting further and further gold, and the enemy's got Sven and Nature's Prophet. Feels like, and that scan, and, you know, the scan catches them, so that gank's not gonna get them anything either. Tough game so far for OT.
And they just haven't really been able to make any kind of plays with this Tiny.
bottom tower is under attack.
He's such an active hero, but he's been struggling to find kills. And Stormer, he has a gem now as well and an arcane rune. Ooh. He's not super tanky though. He can definitely be bursted by either the Tiny or the Drow. Just 2k HP. Nothing to write home about.
He's gonna go for the Octarine core. Big fan of the Witchblade build that we see some of the Batriders go for. It does feel like it's given him new life. You know, every once in a while someone finds a way to get Batrider to do damage late game. One point it was like Mask of Madness, you know, with the lasso. Then they're like, no, that's... The lasso no longer does damage. And then he's like, okay, now we can do it with the Witchblade. And it works pretty well. No?
And they find the Tiny once again, but this time he has his reinforcements. Arrow comes in, but it's not gonna hit anyone. And if you do want to hit something, you can hit the banner below the stream. Get $15 extra bonus on top of your first bet.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
That was... I don't think he was actually even committing to that kill. I think he just did one noob to farm. Half of seeing rookies using their sleeping dart, it's still just to be a noob,
Yep.
you know? It's just... They're just like, you know, they're just being a big dick about it. Like, hey, they annoy you about it. And there's nothing you can do. Dire, they use the scan, they scout out. So, the last couple of scans have been on point.
That's the Ricky life. Just be annoying.
He's gonna go for the wall. The Dispel would be very one call. about growth. So usually we see, the more octarine core kind of, it's not octarine, sorry, the aether lens being picked up, but that's what makes sense. Bit of a quiet game. Both teams kind of trying to find their opening. Entity knowing that if they can get a sleeping dart on someone, that'd be great. And this time it's just a jump.
Coming out. Stolen though by the Rubik. Huge casting. Prophet ulti comes out with overgrowth as well, and Storm is very stuck in place right now. This could be a really nice fight for OT as they take down Kataomi as well. Can they find more? I don't think so, but still, do they need more? That was a really nice fight.
40 seconds until Roshan comes up though, so they're not going to be able to take much advantage of this victory. Unless they could consider taking the top tier 1, but the lane's also pretty pushed out. So while Ooredoo Thunders, they cut the net worth gap by a tiny bit. It's one of those victories where it's like, it's nice, but we need to do that quite a lot more before it really starts making a dent in the game.
Could be up in 10 seconds. And Stormer is pretty much gonna be up by that point with his BKB almost ready to go. So I don't think OT can really commit for this Roche just yet. And Noob closing in on his BKB, and that's gonna be a pretty big item. I wonder if TA2K is going for a BKB as well. I definitely think he should against Bat. We have AC coming in for the Prophet, so he's starting to become a real threat in this game. TA2K is gonna go for a BKB, but he's still quite far off.
Yeah, it'll be helpful. But there's still a lasso. However, we just saw if Rubik if Omar can get his hands on it. Actually, that's like pretty much their best control, right? Lasso in this game, and if Rubik gets it, it feels even more impactful. I don't say more impactful than the bat, but that's one of the few times where you steal a spell and you think it's just as well user because it has the holes around it.
See a big smoke coming out from Entity, but OT is in a really good position right now. They have the high ground ward,
They baiting
the Rubik next to it.
They have TA2000 reveal himself hitting a creep, and they're like, Entity kind of know this is happening.
We see the moonlight coming out, but now a 5-man smoke from OT. They're gonna run into the Radiant jungle, the exact place where Entity is not. Maybe they can find Toby. Doesn't look like it though. And I think OT now realizes that Entity is in their jungle. They go for the scan. Can they find the right fight here? Stormer, how quick is he on his BKB? Can he stop this?
Next to a cliff ward, very risky if Ooredoo Thunders gets caught. He jumped though.
And the tree, oh, huge tree volley though. Dealing a lot of damage there, but Kaori dies before getting off the overgrowth, and that's quite a big deal. Fishman really low as well, he's gonna get bursted. Ricky jumping out just in time, but TA2K the entire time is just shooting away at Toby.
Opening. Roshan is up, 1 minute, he's eventually down, forced them. I don't think he actually did anything, he just came back. There was a nature's grasp on the Ricky, and the Kotor was like, I'm fine. Walk my prince.
Yeah, just bought back for the sake of it, just intimidation. OT is gonna get the Aegis here. So Drow Ranger suddenly a real big threat in these fights. We could see last fight as well that she completely shredded Toby. But now there is 2 of her. Nope, with his Aghanims now working towards a Daedalus as well. We could see last fight just how much damage the tree volley did. This is a very good tiny game now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
TA2K almost has a BKB as well, and that is practically another life, really. The ulti coming out, so Stormer is gonna be fine. Looks like he's changed his mind about the Octarine Core and is going for a 4-staff instead. I'm a bit worried for Watson, because in the late game, late game, I could see this being quite a difficult Sven game to play. Because there is the Overgrowth, there is a Hurricane Pike, Rubik has the Lift save, there is a Surge. It's just a lot of control and it's really hard for you to get in the damage properly.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Of course, they do have a Batrider and a Nature's Prophet as well. But still. I wanna finally kill this tier 2 tower. I like Fishman using a leap there to make sure that Rubik doesn't get the leap. Entity, looks like they're just gonna wait out the Aegis here. That's OT. They can finally take the shard now. I mean, the outpost. They're gonna get some control of Entity's jungle. The Entity still has the cliff ward. They're definitely gonna play around with Haste Boom or Stormstormer, and he grabs the tiny stolen lasso once again. They aren't really gonna find anything with this lasso. Arrow comes out, hits a creep. Nothing lost, nothing gained, but lasso is gonna be on cooldown now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He has his Lotus Orb finished, but all the towers are falling for Entity. It's the second tier 2 falling, and I don't really see why Ooredoo Thunders could stop here, really. Pulls back, Fishman goes down. Taking a decent amount of damage, but they just can't do anything about this OT assault. They're just too tanky, too many tools. They need to wait out this Aegis somehow, but still 2 minutes left. Ooredoo Thunders has all the time in the world. Stormstormer did pick up the Octarine after all. Doesn't have Lasso right now, and Kataomi on his Bricky taking a lot of damage. He's gonna be fine.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Tier 3 falls. Racks are exposed. Still 90 seconds left on the Aegis. I think this is just gonna be racks in favor of OT. It's not the end of the world, but a nice comeback after the rough start that they've had. I definitely see why Mira praised them so much. And there we have the lasso back to the Drow Ranger. Gold strength popped as well, so that's the Aegis gone. BKB is still up. Vacuum onto 4 people. Into the avalanche, into the multi-shot. 3 people just disappear for Entity, and now Watson getting completely kited as well. That's why they picked the Ducks here. And do we have any buybacks on Entity? Stan has it, Prophet has it, but they just call GG. They don't even want to fight, it's over. It's just over. I am speechless. What an initiation by Weeder there. One moment, Entity has a 10k gold lead. They lose a single fight, they lose Roche. They lose the high ground defense. They try to go for a lasso back. We have a vacuum. And they just lose. Just like that. That is ridiculous. Not even production is ready for this. Because just... Yeah, I don't even know. This was out of nowhere. But damn, TA2K on this Drow Ranger, he felt like a true threat. Kept up with the Sven in farm, and then all he needed was an Aegis. And suddenly they win the game. Man, what a ridiculous game, truly. I thought that Entity had all the tools that they needed. They had a decent carry matchup. They were doing well pushing the lanes. They had the Ricky Mirana, but you just make one mistake and a good team will punish you. And it looks like OT is exactly that kind of team. Wow. Even with the Treant suffering so much. 0 and 8. They just really understood their timings. G2K, 5 kills, 25k net worth, 8k tower damage, 14k damage. It's not impressive at all, honestly. That's the thing. They didn't have a lot of GPM. They didn't have a lot of kills. They just understood the game. They saw a timing. They took it. They won a fight. And that's all that was needed. So with that being said, we're going to be going into a little break before game number 2. We're going to see if we can fix Otomo's internet or the issues that he's been having. And then we'll get back to you. So stay tuned, drink some water, get some food, and we will be back for game number 2 in the series between Entity and Ooredoo Thunders. Stay tuned, we will be back.
Dire's top tower. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Welcome back, gamers, to the series between Entity and Ooredoo Thunders. My goodness, that was one anticlimactic ending. It was insane. I was like, okay, so they're gonna get a Rex, it's fine, you know. That happens in games, and then suddenly it's like, oh, wait, they just engaged, they lost 4 heroes, they have buyback, they called GG? What?
They had a couple of buybacks, didn't they? I was surprised that they just decided it's over.
Yeah,
Maybe Entity feeling.
I guess they didn't have BKBs and ultis, so they were like, it's not gonna happen. My
I'm
goodness, Ooredoo Thunderers. I mean, it takes so much game understanding to just go for a play like that and then end. I don't know. It was insane. Let's not waste any more words on it. Let's focus on this draft. We have Entity against Ooredoo Thunders. Game number 2, Entity picking up Death Prophet. First pick, Ooredoo Thunders responding with Enigma Treant. What do you think about this?
I think it makes Silencer look really good if Entity wants to take it. I mean, the ban on the Rubik is there, so for Entity, Silencer seems pretty solid. I mean, it's a dumb thing to say, and it's like so obvious, but that's how it works. And they go with the Ricky again. Even though Ooredoo Thunders, I did not feel like they were that bothered by the Ricky. Like, he was, a nuisance, but it wasn't like that back-breaking Ricky, where it's like every, 10 seconds we're seeing someone die to the Ricky. It's just like, oh, it's just annoying, but it's fine.
10 seconds.
I like the
remaining.
confidence from Entity though. It's worked for them in the past, and they're like, we're not gonna
5
completely
seconds
change
remaining.
our draft.
Radiant team ban.
Maybe just ban the Drow. Good first step.
Kind of crazy to see the Drow do that well against
Turn to ban.
against the Sven. And of course, they straight away ban out the Silencer. It's just too much of a threat for them to deal with.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So I'm quite curious which hero they're gonna pick for Watson to lane against the Enigma.
10 seconds remaining.
Because
Feels
Enigma
like no
is...
matter,
Go ahead.
5
feels like no matter what
seconds
you pick,
remaining.
you're gonna suffer a little bit just because of the fewer creeps. But we have seen some people who can pick out a hero who can just farm it really well. We've seen people go with like an Ursa, just jump on it every time with the Earth Shock and farm a couple of them. That's not so bad.
Yeah, that sounds like life. No matter what you do, you suffer a little bit.
Yeah, that's. I think that's fair to say. I think that's definitely life for some people. Not everyone though. Some people have a little bit harder than others.
For sure. Just like Noob, who doesn't get to play his Leshrac. That's what you meant, right?
No, that's not exactly what I meant at all. But it would be a great combination with Enigma. However, already Thunders, their team fight's already pretty awesome. I'm wondering if they will consider adding a Phoenix, because not only does the Silencer count these heroes, but when you're playing Phoenix against Silencer, it's the worst. You can't do you can't Icarus dive because last word cancels it. You have to get a Yule Scepter, get the egg off. It's just miserable. So maybe something Early Thunders can think about if with the Silencer already out of the game. You might also have to consider getting rid of the Snapfire in that case. Mirana's not contested at all so far. Anytime we see a Ricky, it does seem like Mirana's very quickly gets picked up very quickly after.
And once again, the second phase, Storm might tinker a ban. I feel like there is a pretty decent chance that Ooredoo Thunderers are just gonna give Storm a bat again if he wants it. Because I believe both Storm as well as Toby play the Death Prophet.
5 seconds remaining.
So, how did it feel watching Stormer lose when you were telling us, you said at the end of the game one of us was going to be right,
Radiant team
and one of us
ban.
was going to be Wingblade, right? That's what you said? So, how's that feel? I'm rarely right against you, so I really need to marinate in it for a second.
Yeah, Otomo was right, Wingblade was left. That's just how it goes sometimes. I mean, if I was always right about
10
my
seconds
predictions, I
remaining.
would be coaching a professional team right now.
Very soon. Is that actually a goal you want? So do you think about going back to like the professional scene?
I've thought about it, yeah, but it just takes so much time. I had a little run with a team a few weeks ago as a coach, and I think that was fun, and I might get back into it at some point if I'm given the opportunity. But I like casting like this because I can still apply my knowledge, but I don't have to like practice 12 hours per day. I can actually go talk to girls and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Girls? What the hell? Girls? I mean, you talk to them about Dota, I'm sure.
Of
But
course.
that's
What
the only
else?
acceptable. That's the only acceptable thing you can go.
Uh-huh.
You know, they get very impressed when you show them how big your MMR is.
I'm like, you wanna see my Huskar win
5
rate,
seconds
baby girl?
remaining.
Oh
It's
my
awful.
god.
It's awful. Okay, TA2K's Moefling gets banned out, and Ooredoo Thunder is actually banned at Chen. I wasn't expecting to see a Chen, even if it's Fishman playing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're going for it. A lot of times we see Chen because he's really good. Like the auras are really good, and there's like a lot of good creeps that you can get. The creeps are still solid. There's still plenty of auras there you can get, but most of the times they're saying let's just get Guardian Greaves from our off lane, and you know like maybe in a pipe after that, and then it feels like Chen's. Oh, who's that? Who's that Pokemon?
Okay.
That's not really. Come on, Wing, but you gotta play off a little bit here. That
It's
is,
a
it's a good.
lion.
Yay! Thank you. Oh God, you could not. Yes, you could not have done that worse. All right, so is it going to be? It's going to be Omar's lion. No, I feel I've seen this here before. I mean, like picked in either this tournament or in the one of the other tournaments that I'm working on. But
OT played
I've
it before, but they played it
yes.
on Kaori, actually.
Well, either way, I kind of like it. It's not the best against the mass silences and the sleeping dart though. Like that is, it doesn't feel like this is the lion game. However, pretty solid for bursting down the death prophet. You know, once you just see her go down to half life, you throw a finger. Usually that might be enough to get her killed. Especially when you see the exorcism. That's fantastic feeling as a lion player. What are we gonna go here though? They add the what? It's huh?
I mean, we had a
Who?
patch in the middle of the pick phase, I'm sure.
I'm actually gonna have to check that to make sure because Warlock plus like 10 heal at all levels.
10 seconds
Great team fights, and he is a BKB cancel that Enigma can do nothing about. Like
Yeah, I
if
was gonna
there's,
say,
please go ahead.
no, that was what I was gonna say. It's a BKB
Mm,
piercing
Okay,
disable at long distance. That
thank
was
you. All
all.
right,
No
yeah.
more insight from me.
Please don't
Radiant
piggyback
team
off of my
victory.
insight. It's not. I don't like it when that happens, but yeah, and it works pretty well with the Pudge as well. You can get that fatal bonds off. You have now two abilities that go through BKB. Although it's the golem that really matters for Entity when it comes to playing against the black hole.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so Pudge carry most likely for Watson.
5
That's another
seconds
classic. Let's see what Ooredoo Thunders wants to pick against this. Ursa is still in the pool. Seems like a pretty decent hero here.
Mm.
It's a classic counter for Pudge. What else is
I
still
wouldn't mind
there?
that. It's but you'll have two melee heroes. I mean Ursa and Treant is a double melee, but it's very strong double melee. You
But I
got
think you
plenty of.
can just lane it together with the Ursa and have Treant in the offlane with Enigma. That's totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it works both ways, honestly. Like like Lion Ursa, it's a bit old, the combo, but it's a huge amount of damage.
entities turn to battle.
For sure. And they do go for it. No surprises there. I feel like we've already had our share of surprises.
Alright. Well, now that everyone's telling me audio is okay, I can finally relax. Ursa being picked up, nice
10
like
seconds remaining.
brawly carry here. And as you mentioned, he's fine with going up against the Pudge. And when I look at Entity, they have very little burst damage, right? It's not like where you look at the Thunders, you have Lion for burst damage,
Radiant
as well as the Ursa actually. But Entity, if they jump on someone, it's especially the Ursa. There is gonna be time for him to get his Enrage and BKB off. It feels like, unless he gets dismembered. But even then, he should be durable enough. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think so too.
10 seconds remaining.
Pudge can have a bit of burst damage, but he needs to have a good laning
5
stage.
seconds
And I
remaining.
haven't seen too much Pudge against Enigma.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's like super great. I think it's decent, but he isn't gonna destroy that lane like something like a troll or Kunkka would.
Oh, they banned that. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Okay, so
Uh,
Ooredoo Thunders didn't have a sixth ban. They banned no heroes.
By the way, I gotta ask you something. What do you think about Upheaval's damage now? Well, I think something like 30, 50, 70, 90. I think you can add an extra plus 30 talent or something like that. Or plus 20 talent, I think it's a level 10. What do you think about Upheaval doing damage? I feel like that makes the spell a lot... I mean, obviously it makes the spell better, but is it like worth maxing out early? Is it something like, you know, the spell's amazing now? How do you feel about it?
On paper,
Mm.
it sounds really good. Because you
Yeah.
have a huge AoE, but then in practice, Warlocks just die at the start of every fight, and you just pop Golem and then you die. So I don't know. I feel like you could give it like 300 DPS, and then it would be like,
My
oh,
work
this
here
is pretty
is
good. But
done.
now, I mean, it's a nice little bonus, and Warlock definitely needs the help, but I don't think it's game winning.
I actually played when I saw that change with the damage. I think that I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna pick Warlock, max Upheaval, go 1-1-4, and it was miserable. It was terrible. It did not work. And a lot of it was what you said. You know, you throw your spells, and you're like, oh, I start channeling my Upheaval, then I'm just dead within 2 seconds. It's
Yep.
one time
That's
when you
life.
get off, it feels so good. It's like a better version of Crystal Maiden's ultimate, and it's like lower cooldown, but half the time it just doesn't work that way. Invoker comes out, works again really well with the Dismember. Solid team fight will also be a really good cancel for the Enigma with the Tornado before the Black Hole, before the BKB is picked up. And I do like the idea that we could see him just go for the Spirit Vessel as well as the Urn, making space. I like that
He's
style.
not
You
gonna
can
do
go.
it.
He's no Stormstormer's too greedy.
Yeah, it's
Of
gonna be
course,
Exoid with Midas. Like,
You may now select
no
your
doubt in my
weapons.
mind.
See, that's because it's because you're his friend, so you know all about it. And Noob takes the Zeus in the last pick. So Ooredoo Thunders, their draft doesn't definitely requires TA 2000 to be in the front. Like maybe Omar can jump in, get a good catch, and it's going to be Kauri on the Lion, so position 4 Treant. But if you can get to the back line, you sort of isolate the Ursa somewhere, and you push him to the side. You got some very juicy targets: Lion, Zeus, Enigma, and you do have a Ricky. So, youch! I'm gonna go with my boys Ooredoo though. Not because I support them, but because I'm against you and Stormstormer's your friend, so I cannot go for Entity.
What do you mean? What?
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 You're... Hmm?
Like, what?
Yes, that's my logic. That's how it works. It's alright. No, it's just I think that Ooredoo Thunders, they looked really good in game 1. They can handle the Ricky. Their team fight's amazing. Their lane stage should go pretty well. Zeus, you know, you have great late team. You have Zeus and Ursa and Enigma. I think they can delay it. It's kind of on Entity to get stuff happening, but they do have an active lineup, right? Like Punch carries is usually going to be pretty active. Same thing with Invoker. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Ooredoo Thunders. I support them. You know, I like what they're doing. They're on the way. They're on the up and up, and they're the underdogs. I gotta go with the underdogs. They're the last qualified teams. They have to have someone believing in them.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
What do you think, buddy?
Can I reasonably go against Stormstormer Invoker? He's just
Yes.
like so good, you know. He can't lose on that hero. It's insane. Like his Bat Rider, you know, is pretty good, right? And that he lost last game was just unlucky. But Stormstormer Invoker cannot lose. It's impossible. Like there is no bias here. It's just impossible.
Alright. Well, you're kind of hyping up the Bat Rider in game 1. Now you're doing it for the Invoker. We'll find out. Maybe we'll have a game 3, and or maybe Ooredoo Thunder is just gonna take it right now. We're only, by the way, we're only like nearly halfway about the day. We still have 2 series after, which is kind of just wild to think about it. Or whoever wins this series, though, they are going to go up against Team Spirit at the end of the day. And the Team Spirit Mira, he was saying that Entity of the 2 is perhaps a little bit scarier, but he has a lot of respect for Ooredoo Thunders and believes them to be a Division 1 team already. And the odds, they are favoring Entity, but it's not too overwhelmingly so. And if you guys want to put some money on these odds, you can click on the banner down below. You get $15 free bet if you're registering for the first time.
So both teams going for a full 5-man smoke just to get out some wards. And of course, Exoed already picked up. Midas in the queue. Headphones on, gamer mode ready. Let's go. It's Exoed Invoker time.
So he's going 100% first item Hand of Midas.
Oh, for sure.
to battle.
I mean, it can work, right? Like, the problem is that the lockdown from Entity does not really set up a Sunstrike very well. He is a Grandmaster Invoker, so, you know, I gotta give respect to that. I'm sure he can land those Sunstrikes without even, you know, just from the minimap. He doesn't have to click on the map like itself to fall. So just like one minimap, just clicks it there, catches the person.
Well, we'll see if he can make it work this game. So, looks like Lion wants a piece of that profit. Go for a bit of a fight here. TA2K manages to sneak the rune. Gets it, but he's taking a lot of damage right now. Changing onto Toby. Is there gonna be an Earth Spike? No, Kataomi just gets the kill. Yeah, we have the Earth Spike, but is it gonna be enough? Toby has his Crypt Swarm. Fury taking a lot of damage. He is gonna get the return kill. Beautiful Sunstrike by Stormer. I think maybe his nephew took his mouse, so he missed it.
Oh.
But you know, it was a beautiful prediction. Really big brain there.
And he's like, well, to be fair, if Lion was going to escape, that would have been the route he was going to take, but feels like Kawi knew he was going to die. He still gets at least a kill for his team. Loses his life, but
yeah, still okay.
It's fairly okay. So, here's my problems with Lion. I feel like level 1 Finger of Death's cooldown is way too long. Do you think that that's been a reason why the hero has been slightly phased out of the meta, or is there something else that you believe is a bigger reason?
I think there is two big reasons. The first reason being that Rubik is just better in almost every single way. Because he's just a lot stronger in lane. He can steal spells that have the same impact as Finger of Death. Lift is a bit more versatile than Earth Spike is. So that's the first big reason. The second one is that most carries, they just don't lane super well with Lion. A lot of the carries that Lion is good with in lane are kind of out of meta. Like the Jugs, for instance. So that's another big reason. I don't think the hero as a whole is super weak. I just think that Rubik is stronger and that he doesn't lane super well with most meta carries.
That makes a lot of sense. Appreciate hearing that. So far though, he is giving TA2000, despite the fact that TA2000 just died, he's giving him a decent start in the laning phase with 10 CS. The person who's suffering the most is Whiter, with only 4 to his name. It's a bit scary, right? Because as you can see, the Eidolons, they're just going to be, I'm not going to say fed, but very hard to keep all of them alive in the early levels, especially against a Pudge.
Yeah, now with the increased cooldown as well, it's so rough when you lose them. And I wouldn't say that Warlock is bad against Enigma in lane. Because he does have pretty high attack range, and that helps against Eidolons. Pretty decent base damage as well. But later on it is gonna get a bit harder. He's not like super great against them.
Yeah, plus the heal, right? Like sometimes we see the Eidolons being sent to harass someone. Fishman can just like tank a few hits from the Eidolon, get 1 or 2 of them, kill 1 or 2 of them, just heal up the damage. And he'll be fine. Overall, Entity, slight advantage right now for coming out for them. We've talked about... sorry.
Storm are doing very well in the mid lane so far. 17 and 6 up against 13 and 4. Sunstrike. Not gonna hit. His nephew took his mouse again.
I wanted to say that. My god, I was like, is it his nephew or is it him? It was like his nephew's like, Stormy, give it to me. I was like, alright, here you go. Move the mouse around.
Yeah, it's rough sometimes, you know, family. Can't live with them, can't live without them, right? They
can't play Dota with them, that's...
miss your Sunstrikes. Rough. A lot of damage coming out onto this Lion though, and Kataomi isn't gonna get the kill, but Toby definitely is. And this is why I sometimes say that Kataomi Ricky is like a different kind of Ricky, because it's actually strong in lane.
It is the slow coming out the last second to keep him in the range of the Spirit Siphon. Great use of the smoke screen as well, so he can't get any spells off. And I've never really thought of the Ricky and Death Prophet combos being very strong, but the slows really do add up.
Yeah, 2K, he has this ring of health now, but he's still taking a lot of damage. Just every time we see a Siphon, we see the Blink Strike as well, and it's just like a solid between 200 and 300 damage.
The slow, yeah, it's just all the slow adding up right now. Overall, though, we can't say TA 2000 is suffering that much. Yeah, he's losing a bit of life, but he's got the Ring of Health and he's standing next to the Tier 1 tower. It's gonna be fairly healthy.
And he's still doing pretty well in terms of CS. That's very nice for him.
Although Stormstormer is the one who's killing it, right? He's the one who's way at the top with those denies. The Exhort build also helps him get those denies as well as last hits. And Noob, he's a little behind, but not too terrible.
I think it's just kind of hard to play against an Exort Invoker like this, because at level 5 he has like 30 more damage than the Zeus. So you're gonna have to use the spells, and even then, like the damage of Chain Lightning is very comparable. Oh, we see a Hex coming out onto the Toby Death Prophet. He gets off the Siphon, so he's gonna be okay for now. Sunstrike hits onto Kaori, but it's not enough damage. But yeah, Chain Lightning damage is very similar to like an Exort Invoker at level 5 with a right click.
Yeah, and, you get the nice harass coming out as well on the Invoker, but the mana is the issue if you're a Zeus, right? You do run out of mana, as we can see here. Whereas Stormstormer, the right clicks, those are free. Doesn't cost them anything to get those going.
Engaged upon by Kataomi. It's a solid amount of damage. Sunstrike is gonna miss, and Kataomi taking a lot of damage there. Not quite gonna fall though. TA2K so close to his level 4. He would have gotten the kill for sure.
I gotta say, Kaori has done an amazing job of staying alive. You know, they put in a lot of aggression on him, and he still managed to do pretty well, as well as keep it, the TA 2000 competitive in the lane. Not what you can say for the rest of the Ooredoo Thunder's draft. They have been struggling a little bit more, although again, the Enigma versus Pudge. Pudge gets close, turns on the Rot, and he's able to farm them. And they have magic resistance, but he still can farm them quite a bit.
And Watson, wonder what he's gonna go for. If he is gonna go for that Vanguard that we see so often, or maybe just a straight Hood instead. There's a lot of options on a Pudge. You definitely want to get Aghanim's second item, but the first item is always a bit of a toss-up. And Midas already out for Stormstormer.
Jeez, 6.5 minutes in. That is very fast. That's a very fast way of making money. And another fast way of making money, by the way, is clicking on the banner down below. And if you're a new user, you get $15 for your free bet if you're registering for the first time. So, yeah, it's still Entity coming out a little bit ahead. But to be fair, Ooredoo Thunder's draft, you do have the Zeus wants to farm. Enigma takes time to get online. So, I don't think it's like indicative of the way the game is going to end, that Entity starts off a little ahead. You know, it's like that's kind of expected.
I think so too. The spike comes out. But Kaori once again like losing half of his HP without a lot of commitment. Now we see a Hex onto Toby, but every single time TA2K walks in close, he takes a lot of damage. No smoke screen this time, but he doesn't want to commit. It's just so scary. All things considered though, TA2K is doing really well in terms of CS and staying alive on that lane.
It's only Stormstormers pulling really ahead from the rest of the pack. And I guess you can also say the same thing for Kataomi on the Riki. Overall, it's just been a bit of a passive laning phase. Interesting heroes from both sides, right? The Warlock 5 and the Lion 5 as well.
Definitely seeing something new, which is a lot of fun.
That means that we don't need the patch for 6 months, because
yeah, every time
seeing
a pro team picks like a different hero, IceFrog is like, okay, we can delay the patch a bit more.
It's like, well, why not? They're just picking. I mean, maybe that's why the pros aren't picking Clinks. You know, they're like, if we pick Clinks, we know what we're gonna have in the year. That's the only hero not picked in the DPC. I think not contested. So he's like, if we pick Clinks, that's it. IceFrog is like the patch is perfectly balanced. Every hero got picked. Keep it up all the way to 2024.
Okay, he's gonna be going for the classic Battle Fury. No surprises there, and it is gonna be the Hood for Watson. So no Vanguard. Cares more about the magic damage. Makes sense against the Zeus and the Lion, I guess.
Treant, as well Kaori.
We get engaged again. And he is gonna survive the right click. Sunstrike once again missing. Oh my goodness, Stormstormer Invoker is absolutely terrible.
just kick his nephew out of the room. You know, just open the door and be like, "There's, I don't know, Coco Melon outside. Just get out of here already." Now, that nephew is really ruining his career in the professional scene, and he kind of needs to do well. You know, they are one game behind right now. A loss here is out. Oh dear.
Once again, Ricky is gonna get gone on, and this time he is gonna get taken out. Too aggressive, too predictable. Kataomi goes down.
Luckily for Ooredoo Thunders, but still, the farm is going all in favor of Entity in terms of just the cores and supports. Noob, he's going to go for the Kaya. It kind of isn't so bad that Entity, that Stormstorm went for the fast Midas, right? He's focusing on farming. It's a Zeus. He wants to focus on farm as well. And it's not that bad the way the game's going for Ooredoo Thunders at all.
Yeah, I think so too. They're in a solid spot. They're just waiting for some timings. Gonna take a good amount of damage here. We hear a Sunstrike. Once again, it's gonna miss. Oma taking a good amount of damage, but Zeus is here to play, and he has a haste rune. Nice blink away, but he's out of charges. Doesn't look like Noob wants to keep chasing though. So that's the haste rune committed. Not gonna find anything, but also not gonna lose anything.
Wider going for the straight up mech. You know, this has been the standard build. Not like the old days where, you know, you bank everything on a just giant blink black hole. You blink in, you get hex instantly, or you blink into a storm and oh dear!
There we have the black hole. Reader actually goes down to the Sunstrike though, so it's gonna be a 1-for-1 straight. No, it's gonna be a 2-for-1 in favor of Ooredoo Thunders. Both of the Entity safe laners go down. The black hole was committed.
Well, still worth it. Like why do you save it for what exactly in the early game? You have it, you use it, you trade your life for a higher value target. It's not, you know, Wader would be very happy with that. It does tell Entity that they don't have to worry about the black hole. People always tell me, the threat of the black hole is bigger than the black hole. I mean, I think a 5-man black hole is more dangerous than the threat of a black hole, but that's just me.
A bit of pressure coming out onto this bottom tower, but actually Toby hasn't put a point into Exorcism yet, interestingly enough. So it isn't gonna be a quick push. Far from it.
They'll get there eventually. And another nice thing about the Ooredoo Thunder's draft is with the Treant Protector, it further delays the game. And Entity, if you remove the Exorcism, their tower damage is this.
Damage,
oh.
nice. Gonna be enough. Ooh, that was really close with the Zeus ulti.
The hood man paying off crazy in that situation.
There we have a Sunstrike. This time it did hit, and they take down Noob as well. That's a big kill.
Radiant's courier has been killed. Radiant's bottom tower has
The
fallen.
tower finally falls. No exorcism needed. Just a level 10 invoker with alacrity. That will do it.
Golem was using to get the kill on Noob, so just like, you know, Black Hole is not available, we also know that Warlock's Golem is not there. And of the two, it does feel like Warlock's Golem is perhaps kind of more useful early on, just because he's more likely to show up to fights, can just throw it on anyone. It's a little bit, I mean, neither spell is what you would ever consider spammable, but it's the one that's sort of more usable.
Yeah, definitely before the blink on Enigma.
Oh. I'm seeing Warlock.
Is he gonna find a solo kill here? The Treant is quite tanky. Just one more right click and he isn't quite gonna find it. And at the same time, Noob does manage to take down Entity's position 5.
Fishman was right next to their ward and loses his life. And Noob was able to get D-ward off of that as well. Nice move coming out from Treant just now. He makes sure he uses the leech seed before running away. It's 35 heals a tick. I think you get what, like 2 ticks a second. It's a lot. It adds up, and that keeps him alive against Stormstormer.
And Watson always does this, buying the plus 10 intelligence first. Always think it's a bit weird. Oh, so much damage! Look at the damage. It's insane.
It's adding up, man. It's adding up. He's gonna get there, and Kaori's gonna lose his life, maybe.
No Sunstrike, not necessary. Was a zoning Sunstrike, you know. Just by casting it, he made him walk back. So it's like similar to Sinister Gaze, you know?
Yes. It's I remember where did I see it when Amar I think it was in doing ESL Ginting, and they did a segment where he has to make an excuse for why an Overwatch case is not a grief. So you know, like a lion uses finger on a creep, he's securing it. He's securing it for the team. You know, he tries to, the moment someone gets doomed, he starts beating his ally. He's like making sure to get denied. This feels very similar to it. Anytime Starstar makes a mistake, it's like, oh, it's zoning, it's nephew, it's what else?
Yeah, personal responsibility is gross. The ward gets
Harry-
scouted out.
Look, Carrie's going all in. Just first item Blink Dagger. I like it. You know, it is a bit it's risky, not going for like a Force Staff to push people away who've been cold snapped, away from the Pudge, Spirit Siphon. Like, it feels like Force Staff has got a lot of value, but Lion has always felt like a Blink item first kind of hero, because you jump in, you get a nice stun, you can win the fight just off of that.
Yep, you jump in, you stun, you die, you buy back.
Die
Classic
again.
sport gameplay.
Ooh,
Leaving Dark
nice
is
save.
out now, but Kiori, he manages to stop it. Golem
How's black
comes
hole?
out. Is there gonna be a black hole? I don't think there is. No. With a cold snap, that is gonna be a kill, but Golem was committed. Another sleeping dart into the lion. Can they catch up in time? Watson, he's gonna run in and he is gonna get the dismember. Nice kill there by him. Double kill. No infinite scaling, but still 2 flesh heap.
Radiant's top tower
Hey, we
With
got Kataomi.
Zeus ulti, they get the trade onto Kataomi. Nicely done.
I wonder if he was under vision or something, or he was being chased. I'm not sure where he died, but if you do use your ultimate and Ricky is invis, it doesn't actually hit him. He has to be revealed. You know, like you have to have, you know, dust on him or something like that. Looks like this tower might be falling. They're gonna try to heal it up and keep it alive. Radio Thunders, they have their work cut out for them, delaying this game a little bit. But you guys do not have to have your work cut out. If you just click on the banner down below, it's right there. It's very easy to click. You get $15 if you free bet if you're registering for the first time.
Omar working towards his shard to become even more annoying as a treant. It's like a discount Ricky, right? You sit in the trees when they come close, you like disable them for 2 seconds.
Or you misjudge it and his own becomes one. But yeah, it's definitely a Ricky that's less mobile and with less range to your abilities, but you come with a better team fight. I mean, can we say better team fight? Smokescreen seems like a pretty gosh darn good team fight ability, you know?
I think Ricky, for the most part, is just a stronger treant later on. It's just that treant is really strong in lane.
Smoke coming out. Or the Thunders, the one thing they have is that they can always go for Roche if they can get pick off, and they would like to get pick off right next to. Oh, they're just gonna go straight up for Roche. Why not?
It's gonna fall so fast, and I don't think. Ooh, Entity, they may know this is happening because Ricky is very close. Go for a smoke screen. Yes, he is. They find the Ursa. Sleeping dart as well, but Ricky, he's just gonna fall. Not sure if this was worth it, but nice hook coming out into the Sunstrike. And TA2K is gonna explode. No way to cancel that one. Exorcism now popped, and it looks like Entity, they want a piece of the pie. Should be able to take this, but it's so hard against the Zeus. Exorcism is dealing damage though. They don't need to get into the pit. Hook comes out. Not gonna hit anyone. There we have the golem. Looks like a zoning golem for the most part. Find the line. I don't think they quite have the damage. Or do they? Just one more ghost. Okay, the ghost does take him down. And Watson, in the meantime, gets the Aegis. So big win for Entity.
It was very bold of Radio Thunders to just go for it. Like, I know they smoked in, they ran with 3, but not killing anyone at Entity. I don't think they have ward on the Entity side of the map. It was a risky play and they got punished for it. The best thing about it is they kept the overgrowth and the black hole, but Entity coming out with a big W in that situation.
And without Blink BKB, I feel like the black hole really isn't that much of a threat anymore. There's another hook onto the Ursa. He gets his ulti off in time this time, but there is a cold snap as well. And he's taking so much damage, and with the Sunstrike, Stormstorm is
Three man!
sniping. Yeah, we have the black hole on the 3 people with the Zeus ulti as well. 2 heroes to fall immediately. One had the Aegis though. And it looks like Watson is still ready to fight Toby, healing up as well. And that was a beautiful black hole, but they still lose the fight, it looks like. And Reader, he's gonna go down as well. So that's 4 heroes falling for OT, despite the beautiful black hole.
I mean, all they got for their trouble was basically a kill on Stormstormer, probably because his nephew was playing with that second. But losing your Ursa at the very start, that's a lot of your damage gone, and Zeus was under the smoke screen. It's so annoying to play Zeus in this situation with the constant sleeping darts and smoke screens. It's one of those games where you think Zeus might have to get a BKB at some point or another, just because of the way the game is going.
Yeah, for
And
sure. And Ursa
But
feels so vulnerable without his BKB as well, because he just has
Yes.
the ulti, but they can kite it, no problem.
And now it's where a huge advantage for Entity. Again, the teamfight draft is a little bit more in favor. Oh dear.
Oh dear. Nice
Oh dear,
back
indeed.
creeps, though. Kataomi taking a lot of damage. The Malefice. You wanna blink? No, you can't. See the insane damage that Fishman is putting out onto these creeps? It's ridiculous.
Those creeps, they don't know what hit them. You know, they're walking like, oh my god, mommy! I'm slowing and I'm dying.
That's pretty grim.
And by the way, he did max it out before he maxed out the heal. Like, he is placing a lot of value on this upheaval.
Well, for sure, it's the best spell in the game. Why wouldn't you?
Maybe top 5. Best spell subject. It's definitely top 5.
Let's see. I was gonna say, what is Entity gonna do with this Aegis? But of course, they already lost it. I still don't think that they wanna relent, though. They wanna keep up the aggression before TA2K is ready to fight. If you give him an inch, he's gonna take a mile.
Ethereal Blade is going to be the item for Noob, along with the Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger, I mean, you can use it to get out of the smoke, but if a Sleeping Dart comes first, it could be annoying. I like the Ethereal Blade, though. We talked about defensive items, and that certainly helps you. The thing is, there's a lot of magic damage from
Yeah, I was gonna
Entity's
say,
side,
what does
right?
it help you with exactly?
Because I was thinking, I mean, it helps you against the physical damage, then you look at the draft, and you're like, Exorcism? Is that it? Big wraparound, big wraparound.
Heal 1. They're gonna start off the fight. Ooh, huge golem though. There is the BKB rebuild by Ursa. Can he burst down the fight in time? It is taking a long time. And at the same time, both the Treant and the Enigma have fallen already. Watson getting so incredibly low. Does he have an escape?
Ice
He
Ball!
has the slow at least with the Ice Ball too. And OT gets absolutely wrecked in that fight. Watson just too tanky.
That golem, just giving them that 1 second so that you're not, they weren't caught unaware. They're like, okay, we know exactly what's going on. I think the use of the Thunder God's Wrath kind of warned them as well. And they didn't have Black Hole in that situation. So, already the Thunders, you don't ever want to question a pro team, but I think, was that really the best time to go for that fight? They had a good ward on the cliff. But other than that, everything went bad for them. I don't think they got a single kill out of that situation.
Yeah, they didn't. They had to commit big ultis and they didn't get anything for their troubles. And Stormstormer just blazing ahead in terms of net worth. He's probably gonna have a Hex soon. And BKB for the Pudge as well, so I have no idea how he's ever gonna die.
Ursa's gonna hit him, 65 times, and then he's gonna die. Alright, you gotta give him time, that's all.
Probably gonna happen next fight. We'll keep an eye on it.
Kaori going for this is a very poor Lion. I gotta say, this Lion pick has not worked out for Ooredoo Thunders. Is 1 in 8, does not have the Blink Dagger, very far from the Blink Dagger still. And we're seeing some of the weaknesses of the hero as well. Oh, we're seeing some of the death of the hero as well there.
Yep. And the Hex is indeed close for Stormstormer, and the moment he gets that, any hero is in danger. They know where Noob is. Does he not have a TP? Ooh, they don't
It's on
scout him
cooldown.
though.
5 seconds.
That's a nice spot.
Are they gonna consider doing something? No, he's just playing it safe. Very scary situation. Oh dear
They're
lord.
gonna find the Enigma. No BKB just yet. Does have the Guardian Greaves, but this is a lot of damage. Even the right clicks. That's another kill going in favor of Entity. 17k gold lead at 24 minutes now. How do OT come back from this? Actually, hold your thoughts. Sunstrike is gonna miss, but it's not even gonna be necessary, as the Hook Dismember is plenty to take down Noob. And now Lion Theory is gonna be in trouble as well, and that's just another 3 kills for free for Entity.
Beautiful, getting the sleeping dart off on Noob, and unfortunately, like that's your best defender. Go out of the fight. Entity, you can see that Exorcism is out. They still have the Golem, so if you don't catch Fishman, you're not gonna get the Black Hole either way. Ooredoo Thunders is all crumbling, just like their base right now.
I don't think they can defend this. Do they have a blink on Enigma? I'm not sure. They do,
He's
right?
going for a pipe, by the way. The last time I saw, he was not going for BKB, he's going for pipe. I admire that he's going for aura items, but and I understand, you know, the Warlock Golem just doesn't care about BKB or not, but you know, you can still do something if you get the BKB, but I feel like the pipe doesn't help you with.
Now Watson has a blink dagger as well, so he can just play so aggressively on the Pudge now. Just pop BKB, blink in, and just kill anyone for the most part. Hex now up on Stormstormer as well, so it's gonna be so hard for OT to leave the base. But they are still going to. They pop a smoke, 5 heroes, 5 ultis. Let's see what they can do.
They can see people near that cliff there. That last time they took a fight in that area did not go well for them, but they got vision. There's a DD ruin there. This could be the only chance Ooredoo Thunder has to make a comeback. Scans are used. Can't tell which one's which though.
OT
Nice.
once again behind the tier 1. Let's see if they can find a big target this time. Smoke breaks. They see Stormstormer, but he has a BKB and there is no bash. Overgrowth comes out though. That is huge. If they can kill Stormstormer, but they can't. Dismember comes out and Stormstormer manages to escape. Do they have the damage to kill Watson? I don't believe they do. He is just tearing people apart and he doesn't even need to hit. It's
Did you see the damage?
only going down.
Yeah, did you see that upheaval plus the rot? And that was it, like T8000 just instantly melted right after.
Yep.
And the Warlock pick doing absolutely incredible work for Entity. It really did not feel like they had much of a choice. Ooredoo Thunder, great comeback in game 1. And this game, it just felt like Entity from start to finish. You know, just did not feel like they had... They didn't give Ooredoo Thunder a chance to come back. But, you know, we are going to have to decide. We're going to go to all 6 games in the first 2 series. So I like that. I like it that we're seeing these qualifying teams giving it their all. You know, hopefully Ooredoo Thunders can bring it back in game 3 because they're the only ones left who can do so.
Yeah, for sure. This was another series where I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be a 2-0 in favor of Entity and we'll just go on. But no. Ooredoo Thunders, they looked so good in the first game. Maybe a bit less good in this game. It felt like Entity was in pretty firm control, but with both teams looking pretty darn good in their winning game respectively. Game 3 could be anyone's game.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to go with, right? But game 2 definitely did not look the best for OT. The Ricky game 1 feels like they counted him pretty well. They were able to stick together. But game 2, he was getting a little bit more. And in the laning phase as well, with the Death Prophet, looked super good for them. You know, Katomi was playing it really well. And who's going to be the MVP? Is it going to be Stormstormer's nephew in the end? Was he the one who, you know, he's like, here's how you do it? And it is going to be Stormstormer. Unfortunately, it's him himself, not his family.
Yeah, at some point he took the mouse himself again and he started hitting the important Sunstrikes. It's very well played by him. I think he's one of the few Invoker, like real old school Invoker players still in the game and actually picking it, going for a Midas and Exort and making it work.
It definitely feels like something they might have to consider banning, because you picked, you know, the Zeus, you're thinking, alright, he's gonna scale, I'm gonna have a guy who farms as well, but his hand of Midas gets him online so much quicker, and Invoker does feel a lot more mobile in the early game, a lot more versatile as well, and just a good counter against the Whiter Enigma as well. But that's gonna be, you know, that's gonna be game 2 done and dusted. We're gonna go to the decider game 3 between Ooredoo Thunders and Entity. Will Entity take away the last qualifying teams, or will Ooredoo Thunders be able to make to the top 4 We'll find out after we go for a break, so we'll see you guys in just a few minutes. And we are back for the final game of the series between Ooredoo Thunders and Entity. Ooredoo Thunders, they took game 1 in a very impressive comeback from behind, whilst Entity game 2 was just fair point to say is a stomp, right? Is that all right with you, Wingblade? And
Yeah, I think so.
There you go. If Wingblade agrees, if me and Wingblade agree on the same thing, it has to be a fact, because we always try not to do that. Ooredoo Thunders, they start the third game. They do get rid of the Ricky Maru, who has been Entity's picked in the last 2 games. They leave the Invoker, but to be fair, when you start, there's only, there's more crucial bans, I think, and they might consider getting rid of the Invoker in the second ban phase. He was definitely a big factor in their victory, and there's a chance you can get rid of him now, because Rubik and Nature's Prophet have come out for Entity.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a Toby Prophet again. It got wrecked in the first game. But maybe they want another shot. I still think it's not like the best Toby hero.
Definitely didn't look the best in game 1, right? And Nature's Prophet against like Trina Protector. I feel like Trina Protector should be okay with it. Leshrac comes out. This is starting to feel very similar to game 1, right? I think that did we have Noob on the Leshrac? I'm not quite sure, but we definitely had Toby on the Nature's Prophet, like you were saying. We have been seeing the Trina Protector basically picked every game so far.
There is the Batban, which I think is interesting, because I think Lesh is one of the few heroes that actually quite good against Batrider.
I mean, if you get your spells off, right? If you get jumped on before, that could be a problem. But if you can get your spells off, you have the Bloodstones, like, yeah, lasso me, baby. I don't mind. He's kinky that way, apparently. Drow Ranger, TA 2000 looked amazing with it in the start, and that is the respect ban for Stormstormer. Feeling good about your boy getting that respect right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ooredoo Thunderers also banned out the Tinker.
That has been
10 seconds remaining.
Yes, please go. Did I see you? I'm sorry.
Okay.
There's a delay. I thought you were done talking. There, guys, there's a delay in what we see and what we hear, so unfortunately that happens sometime. I'm sorry, Wingblade. Please tell me more about the Tinker, please.
I lost my train of thought. It's okay. We'll just pretend it didn't happen. So what are they gonna ban next, Ooredoo Thunderers, do you think?
5 seconds remaining.
Tinker, probably, right? They have been... they focused on getting the Ricky and the Brute, because those are just huge meta heroes. They've been focusing a lot on Stormstormer in the second phase right now. That still leaves like the Tusk and the Ember. If Stormstormer wants to go these heroes as well, like, you get rid of the Tinker, there's still other things that he can play. I mean, he can play anything, but there's still other meta heroes.
Okay,
And,
there we go. They do ban it out. So 3 Stormstormer respect bans in the second phase.
Still leaves the Ember, the Tusk, the Pangolier, as well as Tiny. Tiny's also in the pool if Stormstormer wants to take it. I know he's playing a lot of Tinker in the pubs though. But Ember Spirit against Lash?
It's not the worst. Like, Ember has a few losing matchups. You don't win against Leshrac, but you don't lose hard enough to cry. That's fine. It's also interesting, in the first series, Centaur was a huge priority, and in this game, they just don't care at all. Either team is like, Centaur doesn't even exist.
I like the Spirit Breaker pick. Fishman, Katomi. What are we gonna be putting it on? I mean,
10
Spirit
seconds
Breaker
remaining.
definitely feels like a hero could use a little bit more gold than position 5 usually gives him, but he can also work, right? All your abilities pierce BKB regardless, and you can just charge in and die, and just that's fine with it. We don't care about him.
Yeah, I think it's a Kataomi hero, or he's like the only one who's played it for them. And I like this resurgence of Spirit Breaker. I feel like he's very good against certain meta heroes like Treant, for instance, and also Nature's Prophet. So in that sense, it's also kind of a deny pick.
I like it. I like it. I mean, I'm a bit of a fan of the hero himself. I do think that when he got the new shard, that was
It's awful.
it sucks, man.
It's the worst shard in the game, by far,
It's
by none.
such garbage. I swear to God. The old shard was great. It gave him a break, a little bit of extra damage, some magic immunity. You're like, okay, that's fine. That's like a nice ability, you know. It's not a required item to pick up. When you pick it up, you feel its impact. Then it gives him the planar realm of bullshit, whatever it is. 6
That's
seconds of
exactly
extra.
what it's called.
That is the thank you. It gives him a bit of magic resistance, and you reflect the first spell target on someone else, but then you lose it instantly. It's got like 25-second cooldown or something. I mean,
don't know what they were thinking.
let's be honest, we don't know what they were smoking that day. Let's be very fair here, and that's interesting. Doom definitely, you know, if you can get the Doom to be on the Spirit Breaker while you're using the planar bullshit along with his bulldoze, it actually is like a 3-4 second Doom, and that's it. We phase off. So the one time when it makes sense is this one, because there's not a whole lot of single target.
Yeah, it's only like 3 so far, so yeah. Pretty good odds of getting Doom. That's totally worth investing like 1400 gold into.
Yeah, right. Most likely he's just gonna go for the standard like phase boots into Shadow Blade. But we got a theory craft. We gotta give it some value. We can't just say it's the.
Really good Lotus Orb game as well.
It is. What do we want here for entity? Maybe a carry pick. But if they do that, they'll reveal where the Nature's Prophet's going for. So I do think Stormstormer. Does he want to go for the Ember Spirit? The catch is pretty solid for Marita Thunders, but can go both ways, right? Tusk and Pango are also in the pool. Tiny has been
Ember
taken
Spirit
away
as
from.
well still. I think it's Ember, Tusk, or Pango most likely. Or they're gonna do something completely wild.
I guess I don't like any of these heroes. You know, Ember Spirit against a lot of these rather tanky heroes. You have living armor on top. Tusk also the same thing. You telegraph a lot of your abilities. Pangos. It just doesn't feel like there's a really great mid out of these three.
Yeah, it feels a bit awkward, but I mean that's what happens when you ban like every single one of his heroes. It's not ideal, and then his Leshrac is picked by the enemy team, so is his Tiny, so it's like, what do you even do? They could pick Coddle.
I'm thinking about Coddle. Coddle wouldn't be that bad. It's actually really good to the Spirit Breaker because when you reduce the charge cooldown by a lot, it really helps you. Like that ability is incredible, especially with the max. Once you max out both it and the Greater Bash, so it's fantastic. And that is unexpected. That is very unexpected. Fragile as well.
I wasn't expecting that one. I don't think it's a particularly great Pugna game either.
Yeah, it is very odd, isn't it? That's that Pugna comes out. By the way, I think I've seen TA 2000 pick the Doom mid Doom carry, so it can go that way. We don't know if it's going to go for the offlane or the carry role just yet. I still prefer. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like I prefer it a bit more as a carry. Sometimes I prefer it a bit more as an offlaner. And what do you think, Wingblade? How do you feel about the Doom as a core pick, as either a carry or an off? Which one? Do you have a specific role you prefer it?
I think it's a player thingy. I don't think I've really seen TA2K play it.
I have.
So I would expect it to go to Weeder or like one of the supports.
When he picked it, they lost, by the way, and
Entities turn.
they picked it against an anti-mage. That's why we see the anti-mage ban. They picked it thinking he's going to be able to, like, he never got the Aghanim Scepter. I was surprised. I kept thinking he's going to get the Aghanim Scepter, blink next to the anti-mage, and just control him that way. But never did that. Just didn't go for it. He went for like the Octane coin to like overwhelming blink. Had no interest in going for it, and in the end, the anti-mage was able to go out of control, and they lost that game.
Oh, right. They did play it, indeed, like you said, twice in this tournament. They did win the other game, though. And
50-50.
I think Vida hasn't played it yet, nor has any of the support, so I was sorely mistaken. It's definitely a tier 2k comfort hero.
Well, it's possible. It's possible to be that. It could still go to any other role. I mean, support Doom is extremely rare in the pro scene, at least from what I've seen. I think the hero takes a long time to get active, but he is also really good late game. It's a very high risk, high reward kind of support pick to go for. And in this particular game, if you play him against position 4 against a Rubik Nature's Prophet, it's not gonna feel too good. Either way, last pick for Ooredoo Thunders. They could take a carry. It's very open, their draft. They could just take a support and we wouldn't be that surprised because they do have a draft for it.
Yeah, I wonder what's left. I mean, Void would be good against the Prophet, but kind of bad against the Spirit Breaker and the Pugna, so they go for a Primal Beast. They're like, oh, I love melee strength heroes. Oh, hell yes, let's get another one.
I love it too, actually. And we have 4 of them in this game.
Timbersaw last pick? Easy game.
Can you imagine? But then again, they need like a carry, right? Unless they put the Nature's Prophet on Watson, and then they can go for it. He would certainly have a very fun time if you're Timbersaw. The damage coming out from them is like, I feel like a Hood really negates a lot of their magic damage, and that's kind of most of their damage. Noob might be going, if he picks Tiny, he can do physical damage later, but until then, it's heavy magic, basically.
Timber would be so good.
They go for it
1
for
second
Entity.
reserve time, and it's gonna be Monkey King. It's a bit more basic.
It's gonna be the carry. By the way, it is going to be the carry Doom. It's gonna be the offlane Primal Beast. Noob is gonna go for the Leshrac. I mean, kind of crazy. It's like, oh wait, why did I suggest you be going the Tiny? So Tiny's gonna go for Omar. In the meantime, nothing crazy for Entity. Katomi is going to be playing the Spirit Breaker, so it's going to be a position 5 Rubik, as well as the offlane Nature's Prophet. This last pick, Monkey King, did not sway me. You know, I see it coming out, does not make me go, oh, that's it, that's the solution. I liked what you were saying with the Timbersaw a lot more. Even if they went for something like an Underlord offlane, I wouldn't have minded, that percentage damage. Maybe it doesn't reduce too much of the enemy's damage output, but still, Monkey King carry... In this situation, no. I'm all in on Ooredoo Thunders. I know that
economy.
In this right now, we're in a recession, baby. No, it's not. I'm not putting any of my stocks on the Monkey King. I'm going all in on Ooredoo Thunder. Everything. What about you, Mr. Wingblade? You've been on the Entity Rider and Dice since the start. Are you continuing?
I think so, because I think Monkey King is super good against melee heroes, and
that's true.
Ooredoo Thunderers has 4 of them, plus a Leshrac who also wants to be on top of people. So I think, while it's not as like countery as a Timbersaw would be, like haha, you counter strength heroes, I still think it's a really good pick in lane as well, because you have a Primal Beast tiny lane that's gonna suffer against the Monkey King.
Are you sure? I mean, we have a good amount of stuns and relocate abilities on these two as well, right? Like, I feel like Monkey King starting off with that low health. You're saying he's gonna suffer. I think it could go either way very heavily. Like we might get a couple of extra, a couple of level ups coming out from Ooredoo Thunders, and suddenly, all that magic damage will add up on the Monkey King. So I see it going. I really see it going both ways. Ooredoo Thunders versus Entity. Winner stays in the tournament, guarantees a top 4. We'll have a match against Team Spirit later. Loser goes home, and unfortunately, we're not gonna get anything out of their troubles for being here. Oh, and
Gets punched.
oh, by the way, guys, if Ooredoo Thunders wins, we're gonna get another interview with Omar. If Entity wins, we're gonna have an interview with Stormer, and odds, by the way, favoring Entity yet again. If you guys feel like winning some money on those odds, click on the banner down below and you get $15 free bet if you're voting for the first. Sorry, if you're betting for the first time.
Omi gets. What? Why did Roche slam?
He gets moody before the game starts. You know, it's just like he gets pissed off. It's just how he is. And TA2000, that's one of the nicest things when you go up against Nature's Prophet. It's like, it's a creep! It's Reent! Mine! And he gets it.
Ooh. It is gonna be 3 runes for OT.
Team Habibi is starting off very strong in this game. Already eating a creep for TA2000. Should be able to eat another one by the time the creeps clash. As well as getting the extra bounty rune for them. So bottom lane, this is going to be the one I feel like we're going to have to keep our eye on. Monkey King could get a lot of kills, could get killed quite a bit, could go very even here, but it certainly feels like this is going to be an action-packed lane.
Yeah, I think so too. No matter what happens, we're gonna see kills.
Yes. And now Wader, he's like, I don't want to be hit too hard early on. Both of these heroes, both the Primal Beast and the Monkey King, have ways to boost their physical damage early on. Whether it's the Jingu Mastery, or the the passive coming out from the Primal Beast. Forgot what his name is just now.
It's the no, it's not Onslaught. I don't know.
There's Trample, there's Onslaught, there's Pulverize, and then there's one more. What is it? Overwhelm? Is it Overwhelm? I think something like that.
Something with roar, right? I'll just keep talking while I sneakily look it up on my second
Right,
screen.
it's like, it could be this one, it could be that
I
one.
think it's Uproar. That's it.
Uproar, right, thank you. I knew there was an O in it somewhere. But it's a word with an O. There you go.
You had the O, I had the roar. Together we almost make one capable, knowledgeable Dota player.
Together we definitely have one brain combined. Alright, how's he doing? Ooh, this is a couple of these denies. And that's a Pugna for you. He does have a whole lot of extra damage. He's like, what, the highest intelligence gain? 4 point... Was it 5? I actually think it might just be 5 flat for him. Omar...
I think it's up there. I'm not sure if he's still the highest.
Priori, damn. Katomi making this hero look like an aggressive lane. This is one of the reasons that we haven't seen a lot of Spirit Breaker. He is rather weak in the lane, but he is making it work. And Kaori needs to be careful. He might just be found out. If that was a hit, he might have gone for the charge. Get another hit, could have killed him, but
Oh yeah,
it's going
Pugna,
pretty well.
he has a 5.2 int gain.
Yes.
0.6 higher than Invoker with 4.6. Charge onto Kaori. He's taking a lot of damage, but he is also very tanky. No bash gonna be coming out. No 17% today. Unless it's on TA2K. The one hero that you didn't really need to bash there. That's just Dota for you. But Kaori is gonna be fine, and so is Kataomi.
I love that what Mira said is coming true. He said Entity is the more unpredictable team, and they do go with the mid Pugna, the 4 Spirit Breaker, you know, things that we're just not seeing as often, and it's nice, you know. It's, obviously we have to get the bans on the Broodmother and the Lina to get these heroes to be played, but it's exciting to watch them. Particularly, I want to see what the Pugna does, how well he's doing pretty good. Not really shutting down Noob in any way. Both of them just getting their farm. But later on, I'm not a fan of the Pugna. I feel like the hero doesn't scale. Am I? How do you feel about it? Do you agree with that, or do you think the hero can scale pretty well into the late game?
I think Pugna can scale really well, but not as a position 2. Because he does really well when he can sit on the back line and be annoying, spam his ward, his blast, his heal. But if he is the one who has to make space, I feel like it's a lot harder, because you need a Hex, you need a BKB, and you're really squishy still. But if anyone can do it, it's my boy.
Well, so far he's doing a pretty good job, and the bottom lane is the one that Ooredoo Thunders is suffering in, right? We talked about how this can go. He refills his ball and is just going to be fine. We talked about how this could go really either way and could just be a bit of a snoozer with both teams farming. So far, it doesn't seem like either Wider or Watson have been suffering too much.
There is some kill potential, but with a Fairy Fire and a stick, I don't think Watson is gonna die anytime soon. And Kaori getting
Beautiful
blocked
bar
by his
block.
own friends, his treants. And there we have the bash coming out. Just one more hit. But he walks away just fine into the trees. Yeah, no worries at all. Kaori is fine.
Whoa.
Oh, what?
And I like it. It's bold. It's a bit of a waste, unfortunately, but he went for it. If it had
Definitely
worked,
bold. Ooh,
if it had
Rubik
worked, he'd
getting
look like such a
really low
genius.
here. Chased down by Noob, and he gets the first blood. Took a while, but Noob gets it.
And Kaori, he kind of owes them a death, you know. But is he gonna give it to them or not? Katomi's the one taking a lot of damage right now.
Gonna charge for 5 more seconds, but he's just gonna walk away. No problem at all. But now Toby is getting really low, and he is gonna be fine. I guess he can just TP back to base. Although he doesn't have a lot of... Yeah, okay. He used the TP, so he's fine. I was like, he doesn't have a lot of mana, but he already used the TP.
Overall, game starting off really good for Ooredoo Thunders. Extra bounty ruin, fast eating by TA2000, and now they have the first blood as well. And TA2000, look at that, he's going for the Ogre Frost Mage creep. Gives you the 5 armor. It lasts for a while, quite a while. It's 45-second duration, 5-second cooldown, and it also slows both the attack and movement speed of people who hit you. And I believe that procs on ranged and melee hits. Combine that with the living armor, and you are practically immune to physical damage for the next few minutes. You know, I say practically immune, but you know, reducing it by like 60 or 70%.
Practically immune, I agree.
Hey.
We need more bold statements like that from you, Otomo.
Well, the thing is, it's like you say practically, and then he takes like 90% magic, and then 5 reminds people like, see, you said he was immune. I'm like, yes, but he's mostly immune. Mostly.
And Toby once again going for the double Wraith Band build. Just wants to hit fast. I wonder if he's gonna go for the same build this game as he went for in game number 1 with the Gleipnir into Aghanims. We'll find out soon enough.
That's fine. Katomi, he's only got the Wraith Band so far, trying to get the boots up. And Spirit Breaker, Ice Frog's been giving him some buffs to make him a better farmer, like Raider Bash doing 50% more damage to creeps, and it's nice, but the hero still feels very awkward to farm with. Charge is your best ability to farm, but unfortunately you don't really want to use it on creeps because you want to save it to, you know, help your teammates everywhere. And his right click is kind of a joke, honestly.
I think from level 20 on, when you get the charge speed talent, you become one of the fastest farming supports in the game. It's great.
Oh yeah. It's just hit level 20, and at that point you skyrocket once you hit 20. You know, you just farming. How long does it take for him to reach level 20? 35 minutes, something like that.
As a support?
Yeah.
Like 60 minutes?
Okay, that seems like a lot. I think if you're taking 60 minutes to reach level 20, you're doing something wrong.
Okay, maybe if they give him the tomes, it's like 45. I'll say 45.
I'll go under 45 just to have fun. Oh, Katomi goes for it.
Charge onto Omar. He's gonna be fine. Stormstormer doesn't have a lot of mana to contest with him anyway. And Watson is gonna pick up the haste rune. And Noob has been killing a lot of stacks in the jungle, but Stormstorm is still keeping up with him just fine.
I mean, being able to just getting that mid tower has been that's been the big difference maker, right? However, for Ooredoo Thunders, you know, they are going to be able to slow down the game thanks to having a Treant Protector. But if you guys feel like you want to speed up in your life, you want to get some excitement, you can click on the banner down below. You get $15 free if you're betting for the first time, if you're registering for the first time. Entity, will they be able to up the tempo? Ooredoo Thunders, you have the Doom and the Treant, so you want to go late. And Storms, he's got a few stacks himself. Can they find Wider here? And it's like they might just run into him, and he just charges out of there, but I don't know if he charged far enough. Primal Beast.
A lot of damage here. Leader, can he escape? Toby TP's in as well, but does he? Okay, there we have the Sprout, but it doesn't really do a lot against the Quelling Blade, so he just walks away from 4 heroes, no problem at all.
Seems right. Seems like how it should be, basically. Tomi just teleporting to the top lane. Once we get a few more levels on the Spirit Breaker and the Nature's Prophet is a bit more active, like we can see the map start to shrink for the Thunders. You know, the global presence is quite annoying for them. Oh, there you go, Toby, they found him.
On the bottom lane. But so does Noob. He's getting very low, and with the blast, he's gonna go down. But on the bottom lane, Toby's gonna fall as well. The moment Tiny came in range, he was practically dead.
Still better for Entity. They get the higher priority target by quite a bit. Pugna is going to go for the Aether Lens into Force Staff. I think they buffed up the cast range from Nether Blast. Like it was like 500 or to 550 or 450 to 500. Like went up just a little bit, and does feel like that's quite a bit. It adds a lot when you actually use it. Omar? No mana.
Omar, he still has some sticks. I'm not sure how deep Watson wants to commit, but just a little bit deeper is fine. He does get the kill before a noob can arrive. You see the onslaught, and they are gonna get Fishman with the pulverize. We know all of the ability names now.
Yes, we do.
Infinite knowledge.
And the Google search as well. That's both of them came very helpful for us. Overall, Entity farming just a little bit better, but it's not by much. And the charge, not fun to charge against the Treant Protector once you have to go through the nature's grasp.
It's definitely awkward. But Storm are doing a really good job pressuring these towers right now. Together with Toby. That's another tier 1 falling. Only the bottom one remaining, and that's probably the least important one. I think that's the least important tower in the game. The Dire tier 2 bottom. I mean tier 1 bottom.
Dire tier... Oh yeah. It's like far away from everything. Is maybe what, do you want access to the secret shop that badly? You know, it's like I gotta get there.
Super relevant. It's like, oh, I need to be at the enemy secret shop right now.
In general, I think what's another? I mean, the Radiant bottom tier one's also not gonna get you much.
But it's close to Roche. That one is nice.
The Radiant bottom.
Oh right.
That's
but
another
that
one.
Opens up the jungle, you know.
It does. That's true. You're right. I mean, I agree with you that Dire definitely has the worst tower, which is the bottom tier 1.
But that's also kind of good to have a tower that doesn't really matter. Anyway.
Because you can sacrifice it whenever you need to.
Yeah, it's fine. When you lose it, you're like, oh, I don't care. Toby looks like he's gonna be going for the same build once again. The Gleipnir. This game, there is a lot of early BKBs though, I think, from OT.
Did TA2000 not go for the Hand of Midas, by the way? Last time I saw him, I think he did?
Yeah. It was just a bit later. Went for the arcane boots and stuff first.
I'm gonna go for the Octarine core build. It feels very greedy to go Octarine and Hand of Midas, but if you can get away with it, it's such a skyrocket for you in terms of farm, right? Like 25% reduction on cooldown reduction on both Devour and Hand of Midas is insane.
Smoke going out from Entity, and they're gonna start off by killing the Tiny, which is a nice kill. Not super impactful, but still, nice bonus.
He steals also Avalanche. That's a pretty big one. You know, we've seen Fishman. I always confuse them, but I'm pretty sure that's Avalanche. You know, I think Toss is like a big rock.
Yep. Onto the creeps bottom. Kataomi working his way towards that level 20.
And the straight up BKB. That's all he wants. Just wants straight up BKB. Phase boots and the wind lace for extra movement speed, and he's like, that's it, that's all I need. BKB's right after. And
yeah, I think Shadow Blade is mostly like a pub item. Can still be good. Ooh, and Tiny gonna be in a lot of trouble here. Omar just taking a beating from Watson, and Watson actually going for the Echo Saber plus Deso or BKB build, as opposed to some of the Battle Furies we've seen recently from players like Diraccio.
I guess he's just comfortable. It does feel like they need to up the ante a little bit for Entity. I like the Nature's Prophet late game, but I'm not as convinced by Pugna going very late. And oh, that's a terrible feeling.
That's pain.
That is not good. That's not one of the ones you enjoy. He actually has the shard queued up on the Spirit Breaker, so We're gonna find out if he's gonna be able to take a Doom for his allies. It would be a incredible play, but the timing to do it and the way to do it, it's not easy for sure.
I guess getting pulverized instead of your carry is also pretty good, but it's like, oh. I feel
would
like
be the
we're
worst
either
thing?
gonna praise Kataomi as a genius, or we're just gonna be like, yeah, you just wasted 1400 gold. No in
You
between.
know, what would be the best one would be if he takes a lightning storm from the Leshrac and just bouts to the same people. You're like, well, there you go.
That would be huge.
Are you happy now? Is that what you wanted?
Watson.
Overall,
Gonna
TA
find
2000
something
not
here.
not
It's a
accelerating
big
his farm
stack.
too much. It is a big stack. They're gonna try to contest it.
Ooh, Bloodstone is out on move, but he's in the middle of the Monkey King ulti. Do they have the damage with the pulverize? Doesn't
Easily.
look like Watson is dealing any damage here, but with the lifesteal, it's not gonna be enough. At the same time, Oma does go down, but TA2K still on the hunt. I don't think Fishman is getting out of here. He does dodge the stun, but he still goes down to the lightning. So decent attempt by Entity, but Watson just dealing no damage whatsoever. And OT capitalizes beautifully.
The living armor, the ice armor, and you already have like Leshrac with the Bloodstone as you're mentioning. It just makes it pretty difficult for Entity to do the physical damage at this point of the game. We said it, right? This is going to be their issue right now. Literally no physical damage can be done while these two abilities are on someone.
Literally, exactly.
That's how it works. Oh, Omar, I think he's going to find a Toby. But is there
Juicy
anyone
Toby.
here?
That's a juicy Toby. And with the onslaught and the trample. Ooh, nice charge by Kataomi. Looks like Toby's gonna be fine. He's very juicy, but they're not gonna get him.
A little unfortunate for them. And Wider, he is not getting a whole lot of farm, but leaving it for his team.
Taking a good amount of damage, but with the Bloodstone, he's healing up pretty fast. Storm is still going for the blast. Doesn't want to give up on his kill just yet. And that's a nice Sprout. No Quelling Blade's gonna help you with that one. Still going for the TP out, and he isn't gonna make it. That was a really nice Sprout by Toby.
Yeah, the vision provided as well as the blocking the Leshrac made it just crucial. Was it, a little bit of blind? He's like, I kind of guess in this area, but well played. We might have been able to go out if he TP'd earlier, but I'm not sure if the cooldown was available or not. But the cancelled TP, never a good thing. And overall, Entity being ahead in terms of net worth, that's a big deal. Remember, they're up against a Doom with Hand of Mice, who's a carry, and they're still leading. Oh, that's not gonna help.
Storm, he finds another one. Omar not having a good time here at all.
Well, to be fair, yeah, he's not. I mean, I want to think like maybe he'll, if you can get a Blink Dagger, but he's really behind in terms of gold. In terms of the other support. You're looking at Kotomi. I prefer the Spirit Breaker late game. The fact that he just shreds the magic immune people. He has multiple abilities that go through it. The odds, though, a little bit better for Ouija Thunders than when we started. If you guys feeling like tripling your money almost, click on the banner down below. You get free bet $15 if you are registering for the first time.
Toby now going for a pipe, so he's not going for the same build. Kataomi just running away. Of course, that spot Spirit Breaker is also pretty good at. Ooh, going for the TP, but Omar isn't gonna chase.
Roche potential favoring Entity, I'd say. You have both the Monkey King and the Nature's Prophet for physical damage, or the Thunders. Not as impressive, and Kaori.
Kaori with the stolen Pulse Nova. That's a quick and easy kill, and Stormer is dominating. And he's rushing an Octarine core. No Dagon, nothing crazy, just Octarine core. I want to do everything I'm doing, but with more range and more often.
To be fair, the Nether Blast spam with that would be pretty massive. You can melt down towers, you can melt down heroes. Makes fighting him very difficult. Oh, can they do something here?
Goes back to the Spirit Breaker, and this should be a quick kill. Kataomi goes down.
Noob wants to go for the BKB. That'll help him out from... That's another thing about the Pugna that I don't like as a core. I don't like a hero who can get completely countered with one thing. And, obviously you can say that about like the Zeus and the Invoker, but it seems to hit the Pugna just a little bit more than those guys.
TA2K He has his BKB and his Blink Dagger as well. And Weeder has his BKB too. So this could be a big timing for OT. Do you think they should go on the offensive now? Or do you think that Doom should maybe just farm some more, abuse his Midas and Devour?
It does feel like the onus is again on Entity to make moves, but they've been making really successful moves. Ooredoo Thunders, can they find Watson?
And there we have the punch in the root. Doom coming out onto the Monkey King. And there is no escape from this one. He's gonna go down TA to K. Gets that one. Easy money for him. That's a big kill.
It's still not like can you actually use it to get more out of the map? They haven't even taken a single tower on Ooredoo Thunders, and they've lost all their tier 1s. So they are playing it slow. It seems like they haven't been in any hurry. Getting a kill on Watson is nice, but he's gonna be up fairly soon. I think they need a bit more of a substantial reward to incentivize going for these towers or for Roshan. So for now, it seems like Ooredoo Thunders, they're just going to go back to farming. And both teams kind of content with the pace of the game. It's not the most exciting, but neither team thinks that this is a bad thing to do.
Yeah, I wonder what they're waiting for specifically. Because Entity, they kind of just want to finish their BKB on the Monkey and the Spirit Breaker. But for Ooredoo Thunderers, maybe they just want the Doom to be big. I wonder if there is like a specific timing they're waiting for with the Octarine. But Entity, they're not gonna give him the chance. They're gonna force it by going for a Roche.
They're definitely the better Roche lineup, you know. Doom, Ooredoo Thunders, still don't have BKB on Noob, but they do have it on the other two cores. The question is, are they even aware of this happening? And
I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it.
There's like they're roughly in the vicinity, but and this is, oh my god, I mean, I know I said that Ooredoo Thunders is even worse than this, but this is a slow one. Any day now.
It's not super fast. Pugna is actually surprisingly good at taking Roche. You can even solo it with the Void and the Drain. It just takes really long.
Doesn't that make him good if if it takes him an hour to do it?
I mean,
Like,
if he solos it, it takes a while, but just the life drain is decent damage.
yeah,
Radiant structures.
I guess.
Charge
Kyori.
onto Kyori, but he cancelled it before arriving. I still think Kyori could be in a little bit of trouble, but reinforcements are close. With the overgrowth coming out, TA2K doesn't have his Doom yet, so I don't think they really want to fight here. Is there a charge? No. There is none. Omar could be in a bit of trouble now. He's gonna get slapped down by Watson.
He's the position 5, let's be honest, in this game. He's not playing the position 4. Mage Slayer is available on Watson. Really good to have against Leshrac, since all his damage is from his spells, and all of them will get severely reduced. And, continuing just the slow farm game, both teams feeling very comfortable with the way the game is. I don't like the Pugna. Again, I'm going to go back and say that Spirit Breaker does feel like a core-ish kind of hero when as the game goes on, especially with the farm he's getting, you know? Like we see Tinys get the Aghav Scepter, and they can do the exact same, but doesn't feel like Omar and Katomi are in the same, farming speed. Let's just go with that in this game.
Entity going for another smoke. They really want to utilize this Aegis. Can they find a big hero? I feel like they really want to find the Doom, but they just haven't been able to. TA2K just very slippery on this hero.
Rubik, he's gonna go for the Force Staff next. Omar.
He does have his Blink on Tiny. Omar, he's getting rich.
Sure! I mean, he's getting gold. I don't know if we can call him rich. He's like 2,000 gold behind Katomi. And Katomi, I mean, that's the one that's worrying me, is what if Katomi starts getting really close to Wider's net worth, and then you have something like 4 cores on Entity.
I guess that is one nice thing about Pugna. He's not super greedy, so he leaves a lot of space for the rest of your heroes to get far.
Omar farming those treants. If only they were worth a damn. Instead, they're worth on something like 8 gold. And Wider, he's like, let me go get. This is the first tower falling for Ooredoo Thunders, whereas they're going to be losing their tier 2 very soon if they don't go up to defend it.
Dire structures.
And with the Nether Void, it's so hard to fight into. Hey, just 2 minutes left as well on Stormstorm. I can just sit back, hit the blasts, and the tower is gonna fall eventually, even with the living armor.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
There's gonna be a neutral ability that we get that is similar to living armor. It doesn't seem right that only Treant can protect, can heal buildings. Like a couple of heroes should have that as well.
Oh, repair kit flashbacks.
The best item in the game. Oh, that was a good one.
I mean, Lich can heal buildings as well with his 25 talents.
That doesn't really count.
Initiation onto Noob. He pops his fresh BKB and Stormstorm. It's just instantly gonna fall. Get doomed as well. Down he goes. And they're not done yet on OT. They find Fishman as well. And it looks like they want to go into Toby as well. Big Wukong's command in the middle of nothing. So OT, they take their 2 quick kills and they're done with it. They use their Doom. And now they go back to farming.
I just love how all of them just walked out of there. Like, whatever. And even though Watson's got a minute left on the Aegis, they still want to make sure they get him if they can.
is under attack.
I lied. They want to take this tier 2. I'm not sure if Entity wants to fight this.
By the way, he's keeping the Frost Shield till now. All the cores have it on them. You can see the blue shield on top of it. It is substantial, the amount of the extra armor and the slow it gives you. And, with the high duration and very short cooldown, it's very easy to keep it on your entire team.
And Octarine is up for TA2K.
Oof.
So he's gonna farm even faster now. And I would expect OT to start taking the gold advantage soon.
Yeah, Entity's done an amazing job of actually getting the gold, but it's, I mean, they haven't been able to do as much with it. Yes, they got the Rosh and a few towers, and they do have the outpost, but it doesn't feel like already the Thunders was ever really like had their backs against the wall. Omar tanked all of these ganks and gave them the time they need to get online.
Yeah, and I have no idea how this Leshrac is gonna die with this BKB. And same for Doom actually.
Oh,
Charge onto Carry. They can start the fight by killing him. That would be pretty big. Overgrowth now comes out. Ooh, the Doom gets stunned before coming in, and now he's stuck in the Wukong's command. Doesn't get on
the
his BKB,
bashes!
and he's gonna get exploded. That was a huge stun onto the Doom. Double kill for Watson, and this is exactly what Entity needed to stay in the game. Fury, he gets caught now as well, so that's 3 heroes down for OT. They have buyback on Doom, but they don't have... Actually, they have buyback on all the dead heroes. I just don't think they want to use it.
Dire's middle tower
might have to in a way, right? 30 seconds is plenty of time if Entity decides to go high ground, but they can go for the tier 2. And that's something that Ooredoo Thunders is unlikely to buy back for, and it's still a good objective for Entity. Which means that Ooredoo Thunders, for the next Rosh, they really don't have any access points. Both tier 2's gone, and the outpost.
Toby, he has his Gleipnir now, finally as well, and Kataomi getting close to his BKB. So Entity are hitting these item timings.
It's the shards. There it is. The planar realm. He has it. It's there. We'll see what he can absorb this game. If he absorbs 1 Doom, it's worth it.
Yep.
And speaking of Doom, it's actually very easy for a Rubik to steal the Doom most of the time. You know, usually you Scorched Earth, blink in, Doom someone. It's got pretty good wind-up time, so if you're paying attention on a Rubik, you can steal it fairly easily. Great to put on Noob.
They go for a smoke, 5 heroes, but Noob's
They
smoke
see them.
got popped. Fishman in the right place at the right time. And Entity definitely knows it's happening right now.
Noob unfortunately walked a little bit close to him. Gus revealed next to the ward, and they just know, oh, alright. Katomi, I don't know, is he really going to be finishing that charge?
Probably not. It's just for vision. But Wheater, he has his Aghanims on the Primal Beast, and it's very, very good, especially against the Monkey King in the Bara, getting that break.
That is still one of the best taunts ever.
Yeah.
I just wonder who thought of giving it to him. He seems like such a scary, beastie kind of thing. He's like, yeah, let's put him in diapers and give him a lollipop.
Well, we may never know. Maybe it was Ice Frog himself. He has a Blast Break now as well. This is one tanky beast. Looks like they want to go for another smoke, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. See if they can find an important hero this time. If they get the Doom on the Pug now at the Monkey King, I think the fight is over before it even begins.
Fair point. I think the same as well. Particularly the Monkey King. I do think the Monkey King is really the bigger target, because the others, it's not too worrisome. They know that the outpost was taken, because, you know, even if you're using smoke, the enemies get a sword. Oh, who's gonna find Kaori?
Kaori is gonna fall instantly, and they find the Primal Beast as well. They have a lot of damage. He doesn't even get off his BKB. He's very tanky, but apparently not tanky enough, and TA2K forced to use his BKB too. That was a really nice position by Entity to sit under the ward with two heroes, and the moment OT came close, the Wukong's ring came out and they couldn't fight anymore.
By the way, that specific area cost Ooredoo Thunder's game too, because they took 2 fights in that area and they lost them both. They both, like, they tried to backstab them from behind, just did not work out for them. So Ooredoo Thunder's, they're gonna be like, that area of the map is a little cursed and we do not want to go to it anymore.
Yeah, maybe they should just avoid it altogether, and then they have a chance in this game. Noob has a Blink Dagger now as well. I think that's the right call for Elesh. They want to go for another smoke, because they still have their Doom.
Yeah, I have seen it being used like a couple of times. Again, it's just been a very slow burn kind of game. But yeah, it doesn't have to be the slow burn of your wallet. Just click on the banner down below. Get free bet of $15 if you're registering for the first time. And there's a jump by Omar.
Find the catch on the Fishman. Probably the worst target in Storm. Stormer finds the force out, so TA2K doesn't get the Doom, at least not yet. Instant buyback by Fishman. Do they still want to fight this? Judge coming out with the BKB onto Kaori. This could be a pretty big kill if they can get it. No overgrowth in this fight. Neither pops the BKB, and they did find the Doom onto Stormstormer. He's running away pretty fast. We see a big man fight between Noob and Watson. But Noob, he's out of mana, and his BKB is running short. Do find a lot of damage onto Stormstormer, and they are gonna kill him. But Watson is uncontested, gets a nice double stun to finish it off. Noob is gonna go down, double kill for Watson. All cores are dead or dying for OT. Weeter, can he get out? He has a TP, but there is no escape. Or is there? He finds the charge out, and he is gonna be fine. Still, big fight win for Entity. They find the Doom on the Pugna, but Watson just went ham.
And this was despite the fact Watson did not have a very good start to that fight. Omar jumped, and I don't know if he grabbed the tree he was on or he Quelling Blade, but either way, Watson was on the floor, and I was thinking, oh, there's gonna be able to handle him, but he was able to just man fight his way, and he was fine. One buyback was used on, I believe the Rubik used buyback, but Entity again walking away very happy. They're gonna have the Aegis as well as the shard. But they already have the best shard in the game on Katomi, so he's not gonna need one. Can give it to whoever else they want.
I guess it could be nice on the Monkey King. It's like a semi-blink. It's really good on Pugna as well, I think.
I thought for Monkey it makes the mischief last longer. Isn't that what it does?
I don't think so. I think you just pull Vault. You can auto-cast your Q.
Alright, the Boundless Strike. Yeah, you jump to the other side when you use it, when you auto-cast it. Yeah.
I guess it could have been nice on Rubik as well. There's quite a few good shards on Entity.
I think I would have preferred the Rubik the most, actually. Feels like that's the one that, you know, just save anyone who gets caught by the enemy side and just bring them to your group, your team. Sorry. Refresher Orb is finished on TA 2000. Yes, but
Watson is the carry. You know how carry players are.
He says, "I want it," and they all just say, "Yep, there's the carry wants it." You know, he should be
better on me, but I want it more.
Honestly, carry players should all have the taunt that Primal Beast can use. That just feels like it's fair.
Gets charged on, gets the blink out. Now with the Bounty Strike as well, he's gonna go down before even getting the Doom. With the Bash as well, that's a dead TA2K. He doesn't have buyback, so this is gonna be a really good fight for Entity. BKB pulled by Noob, he doesn't have buyback. He needs to be very careful. Weeder charges into the Bara charge, and he is gonna be fine, but I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to escape from this one. Pops the BKB in the uproar, so he's gonna be fine for now. But that's 2 kills for Entity, and no buyback on TA2K, and no BKBs for the rest of OT's heroes.
That refresher orb is really just TA2000. He plays the Doom like this, right? He goes for the Octarine refresher orb, and oftentimes it just makes it like this big pinata full of gold, but not very effective in these fights, at least not so far. It's gonna take a massive move by Ooredoo Thunders to come back when you're 20,000 gold behind on a Doom.
This gold graph just went south or north, I guess, really fast.
North, I think, in favor of Entity, and they still have the Aegis for 2.5 minutes. Ooredoo Thunders, you're not gonna get Megas because you have the tier 2 bottom, but it looks like Entity, generous souls that they are, back off just a tiny bit while the glyph is used.
They want to finish this. Stormer running in for a final blast, and they're gonna get this Doom now onto Toby. Pulls back as well, so this should be a kill. But Entity still wants to fight this. They have a beautiful Wukong's command in the middle of everyone.
Oh lord.
Charge back onto Weeder as well. But he's still pretty tanky, so he's gonna live. Go Scepter Pot, but that's not gonna help you against the Nether Blast. Down goes Curie as well. Watson, man, fighting really hard now. BKB pop, and he is gonna find a kill onto Noob. It's 3 kills once again for Entity. Do they want to just go Ents now? Doesn't look like it. With another charge onto Weeder. They have a Boundless Strike as well. Yes, they do with the shard. He jumps in. Can they kill this Doom? Yes, they can. No buyback onto TA2K, and this could just be the end of the game. Weeder committing to Kataomi, but he's not even gonna get him. GG is called. Entity. That was a pretty decisive smackdown after all. Started even, but then once the train got rolling, there was no stopping them.
Yeah, feeling a little bit bad for Ooredoo Thunders, but Entity played that amazingly. Ooredoo Thunders, again, we've seen this TA2000 Doom can be really hit or miss, and this was another situation where it was a bit more miss than hit. Katomi on the Spirit Breaker, he was able to get more farm than honestly we thought he would be able to get. Right, he's just able to do a lot with the amount of gold that he was getting. Look at him. He's got 12,000 gold, whereas Omar and the Treant Protector were not able to just not even able to match him. So
yeah, and they won despite his shard purchase. That's pretty crazy.
Right, despite some of his gold being completely wasted, they still won. Overall, it was just Ooredoo Thunders. When they pick the Doom, they go very passive, and because if you do, you're always like, okay guys, let me get ahead of Midas. Okay, let me just get the Blink Dagger. Alright, 1 BKB. Alright, I'm gonna have the Octarine Core. I get the refresh, I get double, Dooms, and we're gonna win the game. And in the meantime, you have Watson making space the entire time and being very active for his team on the Monkey King. A couple of Wukongs were a little, they weren't able to catch anyone, but that doesn't matter. The fight where he was cut down from the tree and he still managed to win it I was like, that's it, it's over. There's no way that if they can't beat him in that situation, they're never gonna beat him.
Yeah, he was a really big threat on the map, and I'm surprised that he managed to farm so well. Like, I wasn't sure about the Echo Saber into BKB, into Deso build, because I've seen a lot of monkeys just completely run out of steam, and he somehow managed to keep up with an Octarine Devourer Midas Doom. That's insane. Like, there is a reason why he is or was rank 1 on the leaderboards, because he really understands the game.
He does. I mean, even the landing stage, right? We were saying like it could go a little bit either way, and he was just able, it doesn't really matter to him. He was able to farm. And I want to say that we also saw a really good performance coming out from Nature's Prophet. We saw Toby in game 1. You were saying it doesn't seem like wasn't the most comfortable pick for him, but game 3 he was just fine. Like, he was just like, I'm okay. They weren't able to pressure him that much. I think he died only once in that game. And overall, Entity, looking a little bit better than Ooredoo Thunders. Reminder though, Ooredoo Thunders took game 1 it's sad, you know, all the qualified teams, all the teams that I've been watching since the group stage, they're all gone now. It's only the invited teams left. You know, it's Entity, Team Spirit, Tundra, and Game and Gladiators. So it's
I mean,
nice, but
it
you know,
does
no
like
underdogs.
justify that they were invited, you know? It
Mm.
makes sense. At least the organizers understood the relative strength of the teams, right? So props to them.
That's true. Anyway, guys, we are gonna have an interview with Stormer. I'm not sure if he's ready yet, but yeah, he's gonna be the guy we're gonna be talking to. Might need a minute or two just to get ready. And are you excited? Are you gonna be reunited with your old friend here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Let's hope he remembers me, you know? Gotta remember where you
Mm,
came from. But he's like a big dog now, you know, going to the majors.
that would be fun, right? After you've been hyping him up, you're like, Stormer, how are you doing? It's me, Windblade. He'll be like, Wing who? Blade what? I've never seen this guy before in my life.
I
That
would
would
be
instantly make.
slightly crushed.
I would be instantly a fan of the guy, to be honest with you. Be like this
It's
guy.
always good to have you on my side, Atomo, just to cheer me up when I'm down, you know? It's very nice.
Definitely. There will be cheering up. Don't you worry. The moment he shows up, and they banned a lot of his heroes, the Tinker, particularly in all three games. So there's a lot of respect coming out towards Entity, and they're gonna have another match actually at the end of the day against Team Spirit. We're not gonna be casting that one. Entity versus Team Spirit. You feeling any? You have any thoughts about that one?
Ooh. I want to say that Team Spirit looked a little bit shakier today than I've seen them before. But then again, Entity also dropped a match, so it could go either way, but I would give a slight edge to Entity.
Yeah, they certainly looked really good. I mean, I don't know. Would I give it to Entity over Team Spirit? I feel like that's, I wouldn't say wishful thinking, but I think I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna go with Team Spirit. You know, I think that they looked. Yes, they dropped a game to Alliance, but they still looked pretty good. I mean, so the Entity in this one, but I think Team Spirit's still a tiny bit above, just a tiny bit. So I think they're gonna be able to take that one.
Okay, we'll definitely see. I feel like it's gonna be a really good match regardless of who wins though. I feel like the teams are really evenly matched. And same could be said for Gaming Gladiators against Tundra. I feel like that
Yes.
should also be a really good match. Also there, I
But
would give an edge to Gaming Gladiators because they are looking very good, but Tundra, with the stand-ins that they have, could be really spicy too. Of course, I think most of the time stand-ins are a pretty big downside, but
yes.
you know, with stand-ins of this caliber, it's gonna be at least a lot of fun to see them.
Yeah, I don't. All right, guys, a Stormstormer, he's ready. Let's bring him in. Let's see what he's got for us. And hey, congratulations on your victory. Can you hear us? How are you doing?
Hey guys, yeah, I can hear you. Thanks for having me, and thank you. Yeah, it was a great series.
It's been a while since we spoke. Glad to see you doing so well. How do you feel after this series?
Yeah, I remember when Erase Me Gaming. It's been a long time since we played in the team together, my friend. I remember your troll. Sorry, what was your question again?
God.
How I feel about the series, or what I thought?
Yeah. Let's not go into my troll.
No, it was good times, good times. No, it was a great series. I mean, honestly, this team is playing so well. Like we went into the series, of course, that they are looking like a pretty strong team. And even though they're like, you know, a Div 2 team and we're a team that goes to major or some stuff like that, like they play incredibly well Dota. Like the way they play the map and stuff is much more disciplined than many other Div 2 teams, I would say. So yeah, it was a really hype series to play.
We spoke to Mira after the last series, and they said that Ooredoo Thunderers is definitely going to Division 1 and that they're easily the strongest team in Division 2. Would you agree with that one?
I mean, Div 2 is a bit wild, I think. And these teams, I mean, there's a lot of good competition. I wouldn't say 100%. I would say they're very good. They definitely have what it takes to get there. But I think there are other teams in Div 2 that also have what it takes to get to Div 1, right? So basically, in the end, it depends who can keep their strong momentum up and stay consistent, and in the end, stay more disciplined throughout the rest of Div 2. I think so. It's hard to tell, but obviously, I think they got what it takes.
So in the last game, they respect banned almost every single one of your heroes. How did you end up with the Pugna? Was this something you've practiced, or was it like, ah, shit, all my heroes are gone?
A little bit of both, of course. I mean, they arguably banned the best heroes, and we just wanted something that can cast spells and kill stuff. With like that felt like we wanted some sort of spellcaster hero. And I looked at the heroes and I'm like, yeah, this is all banned. Fuck. But then the partner was still in the pool. It's still one of my very comfortable heroes that I can now and then just flash out. So that's basically how it came to play.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking about flashy things, game 1, you guys were leading by so much and then it all fell apart. Did you expect that? Or were you guys as surprised as me?
I mean, in the game, I think we as players, we felt confident in the game with how it's going to, but we never felt like, we truly got this. Game 2 and 3 felt different in that regard. We played like 15 minutes of the game or 12, and we could feel we are like in the winner's seat. We know we're gonna win this game if we keep playing disciplined. Game 1 was not like that. I think they played very good and calm and collected Dota, and their draft was also pretty solid. So I think this game 1 never felt easy at any stage. We could feel that we have, of course, this net worth lead in anything, but they have like really strong spells. They get to these key items like I don't know, these auras and darks here, the Loto, strong Draw Ranger items. At some point, Noob on his tiny got like so many items. So I don't think we were surprised that it got turned. I guess we didn't play our best out of the first game, and I think they played incredibly well. So that's how it played out.
Mm-hmm. You have a question as well, Tomo?
Just a couple of ones. Again, first, congratulations for your victory. You're going to
Thank
go
you.
up against Team Spirit next. At the end of the day, how do you prepare against a team like that? Is there anything that you're looking like at them specifically, like this is what we're going to counter? How do you prepare for Team Spirit?
Not. I mean, Team Spirit. I think we prepare in every dream against every team the same way. We look at their drafts and all this kind of yada yada. So nothing specific against Spirit, I guess. What you could say about Spirit is that you played against them 100 times already in scrims or other small tournaments. Like you know this team, you know like their kind of strengths and how they like to approach the game. What you kind of have a feeling what each individual player likes to do in their team. So I guess in terms of draft, there's nothing really new to it, but for now, we're just gonna take a small chill break. People are gonna grab some nice dinner and stuff, and yeah, then we're gonna look at their drafts mainly, and maybe some of the last games, and see if we can figure something out.
And Chad wanted to ask you, so at the Lima Major, you're going to be going up against mids from all over the world. Is there any particular mid player that you look up to, that you respect, that you want to face, that you want to play against?
I think there are so many good millionaires out there right now. Like I couldn't name I think in the DPC interview as well, I was asked to name 3 names, and I named I don't even know Nisha and 2 others. I think I don't even remember fully. To be completely honest, I think there's a lot of class mid laners out there that just play very solid Dota right now. So no, right now if you ask me this question, there's like not one guy that is standing out. I'm just looking forward to play against all of them, honestly. Mainly, I guess the player I'm looking forward to is play Quinn again, because we lost against him all series in Gaming Gladiators in this series, and we lost against him in DPC. So that's gonna be that will be a hype series I would love to play maybe this tournament as well. But other than that, I think there's not like one outstanding player. I think they're just all really good. Kind of boring answer, I guess.
No, it's fine. No, actually, it's really awesome because whatever you say is like it's coming from a guy who's super experienced, right? So it's like very insightful no matter what you say. To be honest with you, and I'm glad that you mentioned. Hey, you don't get involved. That you don't ignore Wingblade. He doesn't know anything. You mentioned Quinn, and you said that you'd like to go have a rematch against him. What's ever since Quinn came in, Game Guys has looked a lot stronger. What's Quinn doing that's something like very impressive that he impresses you with that you want to play against him?
Like a strength of him as a player. I think
Yeah.
I mean it starts with the laning, I guess. I think his laning is very solid. I think I fell for basically, I think what's scary about mid laners is if they're solids, if they're not fucking up too much, basically. Because every mid laner can now and then own a mid lane. You know, they can be like strong at some certain point. But there's like not really a lane where you see Quinn where he really like fucked up too much, I guess. And other than that, like later I think he's just has a really good read on how to play the game right now. I mean, his rank speaks for himself. I think he's rank 6 or something, or rank 4 since he came to EU and gaming. And I guess we don't really have the insight what he brings to the table in the team. We can only see that it works because they're doing incredibly well in the DPC season, and they're looking really strong in this tournament too. So I guess the chemistry just works between the players, and I would just say that he's a really solid player. Solid describes him pretty well. I think not. I wouldn't describe him as like flashy or crazy or anything like that. Just solid, which is a good thing in my eyes.
It,
Mm-hmm.
I
Very
can
good.
imagine it would be.
Definitely agree.
And Wingblade, yeah, I think you can go ahead ask. He's your friend, so you can take the last question. I'd feel very rude if I did.
All right, so I've described you in the past as like a new kind of no-till, like a positive flower in the toxic Dota landscape. So what is your secret,
Wow.
Storm? How do you stay so positive all the time?
I'm not positive all the time. I can be annoyed by
My
stuff
God.
as well, and so on. I'm not always. There are obviously also moments where I get tilted and things like this, but I don't know. I think at the end of the day, you know how much. If you know that negative atmosphere or negative, how to say, all this stuff only brings has nothing good in it. It only makes
Mhm.
problems, right? If you're negative, if you're not able to stay collected in your team and all this stuff, you drag maybe in a worst case even other people down with you. They also get like a bit like annoyed by stuff. It's a thing you can feel like of course over and over in a team when somebody is like not having one of the best days. So no, by no means I'm a perfect guy who's always like no matter what happens he's not gonna tilt or something. Of course these days happen to anybody, but I think I I just know how important it is that to share just a positive energy and just make the best out of every situation. And other than that, I guess I just have I'm really comfortable with my balance in my life right now, doing stuff outside of Dota as well, and that always helps. If you play Dota only, you can get a little bit burnt out, and of course, you get more easily frustrated by things because it's your main thing in your life, and if it doesn't go good, then it frustrates you more than if it's like only, let's say, 60-50% of your life. So that personally helps me a lot to just keep some balance with other things as well, meeting friends, sports, yada yada.
That's a
Well,
beautiful answer. Exactly
yeah.
what I expected from you, Stormer. Thanks once again for taking the time to answer these questions, and good luck in the next series. We'll be cheering for you.
Are you guys gonna cast it as well?
Sadly, no. But I
Okay,
get to do
At
the
least I know.
grand finals, so if you guys make it there, then I do get to cast another one of your series. Should be fun.
He's
That
very
that should
biased
work.
to you.
Okay. Okay, I like it. I like that should work. Yeah, no, it was fun. Thanks for having me for this interview. It was fun times, and it was nice talking to my boy Wingblade again. After I don't even know when we played in that team. I think 4 or 5 years ago. I don't even know. Good
Yep.
times. But yeah, fun. Yeah,
Nice. Have a
have a
good
nice
one.
evening, and yeah, it was good times for sure. And yeah, hope to see talk to you guys again. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And what a nice guy. Completely the opposite of what you described him.